Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft, here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Are we ready? Good morning.
Yeah, the takedown.
Oh.
The what?
The takedown about to happen. I saw what you were doing last week.
You saw it?
Chris
You
Broussard,
watched?
Rob Parker, Michael Rappaport.
You know what? We needed somebody in here to defend LeBron James
Exactly.
because he is
Tough.
indefensible.
That guy.
How do you do that, Skip?
I don't know.
How do you attack a man with no representation?
Well, you could have
Even
been
in a
here.
court of law.
You know, you could have been here. You could have come in if
How
you
you
wanted
do that?
to. You could have.
I got to throw the case out.
Yeah.
I didn't have
Really?
he didn't have representation.
Oh, really?
But your day coming. It's here now.
No, it's here right now
sure live.
because it's your day has come.
Oh, no.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Watch tonight.
Can we talk about LeBron James?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get to that. We have a lot to get to today. We're glad Shannon's back, clearly. Could Skip's guy Kyler Murray go number one in the draft? And
No.
how much
Yep.
will the Steelers get for Antonio Brown? But
Nothing.
hey, since he's back, we will start with LeBron. His Lakers continued to struggle over the weekend with a 128-115 loss to the Pelicans, who were playing without Anthony Davis. LeBron and the Lakers are now 1 game under 500 and 3 games behind the Clippers for the 8th seed. After the game, LeBron said everyone's accustomed to the losses, but, quote, I'm not accustomed to it. I never get comfortable with losing. But that wasn't all he had to say about his teammates. Take a listen.
It's how you approach the game every day. It's how you think the game every day. It's how you play the game. It's how you prepare for the game. And that's not even like when you get to the arena. That's like way before that. You know, like is basketball, is that the most important thing while we're doing this? So you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I'm not saying that's what we are as a whole. Kind of looks that way at times, that, you know, sometimes we feel like we're afraid to be uncomfortable. Kind of get out of our comfort zone, you know, kind of, you know, have that sense of urgency, you know, from the jump, and not be afraid to actually go out and fail to succeed. So, I mean, we have, 23 games left. Let's see what happens.
All right, Shannon, do you like those comments from LeBron?
Not really. He's not wrong. But I just believe everything that he said publicly, he could have said privately. I know it gets frustrating, and this is.
I thought you were going to defend him.
No, Skip. I don't defend the bad behavior.
I
never have. I never will.
Wow. Okay. You gained a dose of objectivity.
I've always had objectivity. The thing is, for me, Skip, and I think this is what we know about LeBron. This is why LeBron James has really never embraced or enjoyed playing with young players. This is why he went out and he wanted a Rajon Rondo. He wanted a Lance Stevenson, because he knows these guys are battle tested. He knows these guys understand what it takes. And LeBron said something very, very interesting. And Skip, and he said he was talking about the preparing, the nightly basis, and before you get to the arena. Now, LeBron sees these guys on a daily basis. He sees practice, he sees meeting, he sees the way they conduct themselves, and he's upset about that. Is basketball the most important thing? Ask yourself. Now, see what has transpired here, Skip. Before LeBron came there, it would be great to play with LeBron James. Oh, he's unbelievable. He's the best player on the planet. But when you play with a guy like that, they're very demanding. And what we thought was going to be fun and game ain't fun and game, because LeBron James about that business of winning. And what transpired is that they caught wind, that LeBron James was willing to get rid of every last one of them, 5 jelly beans and a Rolls Royce to get Anthony Davis. And so they're still in their feelings. Now, Magic Johnson has already told them, y'all treat these guys like babies. They're not babies. They're grown men who collect the check. And what we did was engage in business. This is a part of the business. Now get out of your feelings and go play basketball, because I never know what I'm going to get on a nightly basis. One night, Brandon Ingram looks like the guy that got next. And then again, the next night, he might not show up. Kyle Kuzma might drop 42, and the next night he might drop 13. JaVale McGee, he might give you a double-double of 15 and 16, or he might give you a double-double of 6 and 6. Nah, bro. We need consistency. Because what we've seen over the last 2 nights, Skip, we saw the Houston Rockets, without their best player, go to Golden State. And what did they get? P.J. Tucker give you 18. Kenneth Faried give you his bucket. Chris Paul was magnificent. Guys stepping up, contributing.
Wait, were those the same Rockets who blew a 19-point lead to the Lakers? Wow, interesting.
Same one.
Interesting. With James Harden, who did play in that game.
And without James Harden. They did it without James Harden. Is this the same Lakers that had that big old that were in the 4th seed? Without LeBron James, that now they done moonwalk like Michael Jackson at the Grammys in '83 to the 10th spot? That team, you keep telling me for the longest time, Jenny, this team is way more talented than the Cavaliers. Woo, look at this. Really? Are they?
Well, speaking of moonwalking, LeBron wanted them all to moonwalk the plank all the way to the Pelicans, right?
We weren't going to moonwalk it. We were going to let them walk face up.
Oh.
No, don't backslide, dog. We about to get you up out of here because we trying to win. And LeBron James is saying, like I said, Skip, I don't agree with how you address this. Now, you know how I am. I got no problem jumping a guy, but I'm going to jump in behind the scenes. I'm going to tell him what I think he's doing and what I think he's not doing. I ain't going to say all this publicly. LeBron James is getting frustrated. He let it. I just believe everything LeBron James said publicly, he could have said privately. Maybe he has. Maybe they're not getting the message. That's what's so upsetting, Skip. This is one of the reasons why I couldn't be a coach. I ain't going to go over something all weekend long, and then when I get into the game and the rubber needs to meet the road and you blow your gasket, like what happened? No, I go 8. Like Jay-Z said, I go 8, you know what, on them. So all I'm saying is this. LeBron James spoke no lie. But just because you tell the truth doesn't mean you need to say it publicly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Objective on your part. Obviously, your man LeBron James is all-time talented. And obviously, your man LeBron James has played in 239 playoff games. That's extraordinary. It's not Derek Fisher extraordinary, because Derek Fisher, you going to catch him?
257. I think Fish got 257.
Yep. But still extraordinary nonetheless. Yet, despite all of the above, I have now officially decided that LeBron James has turned into the biggest finger-pointing excuse maker in the history of sports.
You've been decided that.
History of sports. Well, I just keep waiting for it to go away, and it just escalates on a nightly basis. This has become, LeBron James, the polar opposite of Tom Brady as a leader. Tom Brady, greatest all-time leader. You would never hear any of this from Tom Brady. Get a lot of mealy mouth cliches and platitudes and all that, but you don't hear this. And now, after almost every Laker loss, you get at least one comment, if not Saturday night comments, that send the message, don't blame me. It's my teammates. My teammates are dragging me down. I don't have enough help.
Stop it.
I don't have enough help. That's the message after every loss. Don't look at me. I don't have enough help. Am I right? Didn't all these comments smack of that?
Skip, I'm not going to disagree with you, but let's be all the way 100% authentic. The only reason we're continually talking about the Lakers is because of why? This is the same team that won 20 games in 35 games before LeBron got there.
Shannon, he's the best player on the planet, right?
Player. Okay. What about them players he playing with?
Well, to your point, they were all the way up in the 4 seed, and those young players looked like they were playing at a high level to me until the leader of the team said, get them all out of here. I want Anthony Davis.
And what did he say?
Well,
LeBron, you're making LeBron's point. When they were comfortable. In order to be great, you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And they can't handle that right now, Skip.
So before I get to that comment, do you know how easily LeBron James, as the obvious leader of this team, could have dismissed what happened Saturday night at New Orleans?
How?
He could have simply said, for whatever reason, Anthony Davis did not play in this game, and we did not come out and take them seriously enough. We didn't come out with the urgency and intensity that was required. Am I right?
That's what he said.
No,
we don't play with the urgency.
No, but he didn't put it in the context of Pelicans, who had just played the night before and lost by 15 at Indiana, and that was with Anthony Davis, came home playing a back-to-back off the road, and obviously the whole Laker team took one look across the court and said, we got this.
Yeah, we don't.
Well, you don't got this against a team that is going to come after you with chips on every shoulder, right?
Yes.
Because that's the team that you tried to bully for to take Anthony Davis to Los Angeles.
He tried to bully. He wanted to leave.
Okay, well, whatever. But that's how they are looking at it. You know that, and I know that.
I do.
And obviously, Julius Randle wants to get even with the Lakers for not working harder to keep him there. So you're going to get a big effort from Julius Randle.
But he's playing good this year.
I know, I got it. But you got spectacular from him. You got from Drew Holiday, who's an all-star quality player, two-way. You got spectacular from him. You even got Diallo coming off the bench, blocking shots and taunting and gloating.
Yeah, 8 for 8.
Right. 8 for 8? What? So the point is, we didn't get any of that from LeBron James. We got the first salvo was, how many know in this locker room what's at stake if you've never been there before? Interesting point, LeBron. Let me look at the Laker roster now. Who? Okay. So nobody's been there before.
Yeah. Look at it.
Hold on. Just may I reiterate here that Rondo's played in 105 playoff games and has won a ring in his career.
Yep.
Tyson Chandler has played in 75 playoff games and has won a ring. JaVale has played in 44 playoff games and has 2 rings. And Lance has played in 57 playoff games and obviously has no rings, but has a lot of playoff experience. And then Muscala has played in 27, KCP in 4, and Bullock 4.
Hold on. Well, you know what I meant to notice, Jenny? He mentioned Rondo. He mentioned Lance Stevenson, Tyson Chandler, JaVale McGee. I didn't hear Kyle Kuzma. I didn't hear Brandon Ingram.
There are only 3 left. There's only Kuzma, Ingram, and Josh Hart. Those are the only 3 that don't qualify here. Yep. So is he pointing fingers just at the kids? Because, wait, I haven't begun to fight here. Hold on just one second. I think it's my turn.
It is your turn.
It is my turn. So I'm going to total up, this is the non-LeBron playoff experience on this team is 316 games.
Right.
That's a lot. And by the way, his teammates have 4 rings combined, and LeBron has 3. So does that?
Okay.
No, don't do that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that because he's taking
unbecoming.
shots like nobody in here understands what the stakes are here except me. Wrong. Sorry, LeBron. So let's look at the Kings. How about, shall we? Let's look at the Kings. They just added Harrison Barnes, who has 64 games of playoff experience. Mm-hmm. That pulls them up to 145 total games. And if I take Harrison Barnes' 64 out of there, I'm dropping it down into the 80s. So again, they don't have any playoff. They're the ones who should be saying we don't know what the stakes are, right?
Skip, but here's the thing. My point is that you make a compelling argument. But Rajon Rondo comes off the bench. Tyson Chandler plays less than 10 minutes a night. Lance Stevenson plays about 15 minutes a night. I'm talking about the guys that I need to count on a nightly basis.
But your locker room gets it. You have a whole bunch of people in your locker room, in your culture, who get the stakes because they've been there and done all that. Right?
He ain't talking to them.
Oh, he's not
talking to them. He ain't talking to them.
So he's talking to 3 kids. Really?
Oh, they're kids now.
So now you want to make an
making grown man money.
3 kids?
They ain't making kid money.
How about the Clippers, who are now tied for 8th with my San Antonio Spurs? They have a grand total
y'all
of
moonwalking. Talk about moonwalking.
They have a grand total of 178 games of playoff experience in the locker room, and that counts 52 from their best player, Lou Williams.
Talk about the Knicks.
Williams.
Beat the brakes off y'all.
Okay, you know what? The Knicks are really talented.
No, nigga ain't talented.
Then you didn't watch. You needed to turn on the other station.
I watched it.
Yeah, you should have watched.
I watched it.
They're going to win their way right out of the Zion lottery. Mark my words.
I tell you what. And what happened to your guy, DeMar DeRozan? Oh, Flo got him. Oh, Flo won him a game. Skip, you saw that?
I'm not going to talk about that because I'm talking about the quote-unquote best player on the planet. By the way, my Spurs should have won that game.
No, they shouldn't have.
But the newcomer got the ball in his hands and then there.
Hold on, Skip.
Just go ahead. All right.
But here's the thing. You and I both know. You keep telling me the guys that they need to count on a nightly basis to come along with LeBron. Because LeBron is giving you 27, 12, and 7. He gave you 28, 12, and 12. So he is averaging on a triple-double. Is LeBron playing as well as I think he can play? No. Instead of averaging 27, 12, LeBron needs to be somewhere around 35, 40 on a nightly basis. And so maybe, Skip, he has to go to 35, 40, and some of those assist totals back up. Maybe he needs to be 35, 40, 6, and 6.
Maybe. because I didn't really see LeBron activate on Saturday night because I saw him kind of going Lonzo Ball most of the time and whipping the ball around the perimeter. I don't want to see it. He is the best driver of the basketball in the history of the game. I want to see LeBron in the paint. Okay. I want to see him in attack mode, and I did not see it on Saturday night.
And guess what? And kicking the people that can't do what? Knock down shots. You don't want to talk about that. You don't want to talk about all them wide open shots.
Well, what you don't want to talk about is LeBron will. He's running from the free throw line. What was he, 2 for 6 the other night?
No, Skip. Oh. But I've said this early on. I said the thing that will keep them from reaching their maximum potential, they turn the ball over. The second they turn the ball over, out of 30 teams, they're 29th in turnovers. Out of 30 teams shooting free throws, they're 29th.
Yeah.
So there lies the problem, Skip. So even when you're behind and the clock stops and you go to the free throw line, you can't make up any scoring because you can't make free throws. And then guess what happens? You get a nice lead. What do you start doing? Turning the ball over. They should open a bakery. Because all these turnovers are making me sick. I'm sick of them.
Well, it starts with the quote-unquote point guard named LeBron James.
Skip, and maybe, and it's hard when you've done something and you've had success with it, Skip, but because LeBron will attempt things that most players won't attempt. Okay. So he's always going to be somewhere around 4 turnovers. On average, when the season's over, he'll be somewhere around 3.5, 4 turnovers a game. He had the ball in his hands a lot, and he's trying things. But no, this is unacceptable, Skip Bayless.
Point number 2 from LeBron James is, I'm not accustomed to this. I will never get comfortable, says LeBron James, with losing. So losing game 1 to Houston, it feels the same way as losing game 59 in New Orleans. Actually, game 1 was at Portland. I don't know who's counting, but again, his first game as a Laker, I guess he's forgotten it. He just said it doesn't matter.
I don't know. All he's saying is it doesn't matter.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Game 1, game 59, they hurt.
Yet, last week, he dared to say, I'm going to have to prematurely activate and go into playoff mode. Yeah. And I'm saying, I sat right here last week. You weren't here, but I said, wait a minute. Michael Jordan activated for game 1 of the regular season. He went into playoff mode when the regular season started. Trust me on that. He played this with the same intensity in game 1 of the regular season as he did in game 6 of a finals. That's just how he was built. And LeBron says, that's just how I'm built. If I'm his teammate, I'm looking sideways at him saying, wait a second. Last week you're talking about now you're going to take it up another level. What about game 1 versus quote unquote Houston?
Okay, when Michael Jordan was in playoff mode in game 1 of the regular season, what did that get him until Scottie Pippen was in year 6 or 7? What did it get him, Skip? Got the brakes beat off him.
It got him up against dynasties in the playoffs.
Oh! So now we got. So hold on, Skip, baby. See, I've been waiting for you. See, I told you. What you tried to do, you and Michael Rappaport, y'all tried to convict.
I just did it right to your face.
With no representation.
Yeah, no representation.
But guess
who? You're the one who said he shouldn't have said it publicly.
We noticed.
Johnny Cochran, that be me, is on the case.
Yeah.
If the facts don't hit,
Johnny just said no moss.
No, Johnny said that.
Yeah, he did.
If the facts don't fit, you must have quit. And the facts don't fit your argument, Skip Bayless, to support the way you're trying to do LeBron James. I'm not going to have it.
And then after a game 59 loss at New Orleans, LeBron James had the audacity, the nerve.
What'd he say?
To reach for the injury excuse. Obviously, it sucks that my injury happened and Lonzo's injury happened, and so many of our injuries happen. Poor LeBron, it's injuries.
Don't do that, Skip.
The injury gods are picking on LeBron. They pick on everybody.
No, they don't.
My Spurs lost DeJounte Murray. He was turning into the best two-way point guard defense and offense in the league. Yeah. They lost him for the whole year. Do you realize how much better they would be right now with DeJounte Murray?
I know how much better y'all would be if y'all had number 2.
No.
Y'all might be leading the West.
And thank you for bringing him up, because last night he didn't play. Rest. He needed to rest. What?
Skip.
Good riddance.
Skip.
Good riddance. We don't need him.
That was an emotional game for him. Oh. It's draining to play your former team.
Guess what? He stunk it up in the game. Go look at his stats for the game.
Hold up.
He shot abysmally.
No, hold on. I know Skip Bayless, because Skip Bayless tells me it's crunch time. It's the win, because Tim Tebow stunk it up for 55 minutes. But what did he do come 4 quarters? So I don't care what Kawhi did. The player of the game, who made it?
Kyle Lowry.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, he
Don't
did.
do that.
Kyle Lowry stole the ball.
No, good.
Yes, he did. Kyle
Kawhi
Lowry
did it.
stole the ball.
You know what?
I saw it. I watched it.
I can't believe you, Skip.
No, you can believe it. I can't believe LeBron James. How does he get away with this?
No, he's not getting away.
What are you doing?
He's not getting away. I said it. I don't like when players, leaders, do this publicly. Go behind closed doors. I know what it's like to be in a locker room. I know what it's like to be a leader. I know what it's like not to be the leader. And I've always been around guys that did a great job of them when things didn't go right, or I didn't be at the head coach or a position coach or offensive coordinator or John Elway, my quarterback. They would always, if I did something, they would always pull me aside. 84. This is what we need you to do. This is how we need you to handle it. Because the alternative, Skip, with me, don't do that. Don't do that publicly. Because you're not going to like how I'm going to come back. So I just feel like if LeBron were to do this, and maybe, Skip, he's to the point. Maybe he's reached his crescendo. Maybe it's the apex, the zenith, the denouement. Maybe he's had it up to here.
You just went to the top.
Yeah, and back up to the top again.
Okay.
So maybe LeBron James said, my cup runneth over with y'all bull jive. Because you come in here and you don't take it serious. Because he said that, Skip, the urgency. He said you're not.
So was that a concession speech? Is that what you're saying?
We
That's
don't
what
do
you
concessions.
You described a concession speech. His cup spilleth over. He's had enough. He's seen enough. He's done enough.
He tired of it with this bull jive.
Maybe he should just go Anthony Davis and not play the rest of the year. Save himself.
No.
Right?
What he's tired of is them showing up to work with skinny jeans on playing Fortnite all night. That's what he's tired of. I'm tired of it too while you bull jiving. Yeah.
So now ESPN's Basketball Power Index has the Clippers at an 82% chance of making the playoffs, Sacramento 17%, and the Lakers at 6%.
I got two cases right now. We're going to get that 8th spot. We make the playoffs.
I'm not doing it because I still think they're going to make the 8th
That's what
spot.
I
But you had them before you left at the 7 or 6, right?
No,
now you've readjusted
7,
to
8.
the 8.
But I ain't know San Antonio was going to start moonwalking.
7, 8.
I didn't know they were going to start moonwalking.
You don't get it. You don't get what's happening.
I get what's
My
happening.
Spurs have played 8 straight games on the road. It's called the rodeo road trip. They've become a horrible. They're the flip side
And
of
the
what
Lakers
they used to be.
about to calf rope them.
Okay.
You know what calf roping
They
is.
are
You see
awful on the road, but guess who has the second best home record in the Western Conference? My San Antonio Spurs. Guess who played 12 of the last 21 at home?
That's going to help.
It's not going to be good there. You can write them off. You can't catch them. Clippers,
Oh, yeah,
maybe.
what you mean we can't catch them?
And Sacramento just won at Oklahoma City.
Hold on. Is Tim Duncan playing? Is Kawhi playing for the Spurs?
You're not going to catch him. You're not going to catch him. Okay, want to do a case on that right now?
No, I don't want no case.
Oh,
You ain't
okay,
want it.
yeah.
now you don't
Now
want
we
it.
get to the guts of this.
We're about to go 4-0.
Yeah.
Next
you know what?
4 games.
I never thought I
No.
could. I would believe this. What's the date today?
The 25th.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the 25th of February,
25th.
you're approaching a must-win game tonight at Memphis. That's what you're approaching.
You gotta do
Seriously.
it.
It feels like a
4-0.
must-win, right?
4-0, next 4 games. 4-0, 2 cases are due right now. 2 cases are due
No,
right now.
I think they should be the 8th seed. They got the best player on the planet.
I ain't talking about no 8 seed.
Quote unquote.
I ain't talking about 8 seed. I'm talking about the next 4 games. Lakers 4-0. Put
Take it or
you
leave
on
it.
that.
Pelicans, surely you can beat the Pelicans.
I can't tell you.
Milwaukee
I don't
is
think you guys are
tricky,
gonna
and
come
then
to a
at Phoenix, so you got
conclusion
one tricky game in 4.
Okay.
Okay, so it comes down to can you beat Milwaukee? And I'm sure you should be able to beat.
So in
I'm
other
not
words,
going to
you're
bet
scared.
that.
So you mean to tell me I show back up to work to find a scared Skip Bayless?
Okay, well
it's
you just
scared.
talk big, bad, bold about my Spurs. Put a case on it. You pass my Spurs. Put a case
No,
on
you're
it.
not going to pass them.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. How about tie? I'll do tie for a case. Okay.
I
No.
don't do nothing.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
We got more time
Case
to settle
closed.
this all show
Johnny
because clearly
Crocker
we've
wins
got a
again,
lot
right?
more to get to today. Like this, will Kyler Murray steal the show at the Combine
No.
this week? We'll discuss
No.
that next. Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
February isn't just about one super-sized football game. On Spotify, there's thousands of free sports podcasts that agonize over the preseasons, off-seasons, and plain old regular seasons of nearly every sport imaginable. Basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, curling, and even hurling. Yeah, that's a real sport. Look it up. Now it's so easy to stay updated with the latest trade rumors, predictions, and scorching hot takes from some of your favorite game's biggest names. So take it one episode at a time and give 110% of your attention to the thousands of free sports podcasts on Spotify, because the best offense is a good podcast.
No mercy.
Kyler Murray chose the NFL over baseball last month, but he reiterated his commitment over the weekend, saying about the Oakland A's, who still hold his baseball rights, quote, "They can hold out all the hope they want to. I'm going to play football." The Heisman Trophy winner is projected to be a first-round pick, but the main criticism has been about his size. Kyler's listed at 5'10", but Peter King said his weight is up to 206. So, Shannon, how high would you take him?
That would depend on, Skip, if I'm a general manager early in my career or late.
Okay.
Am I on firm ground or am I on shaky ground? Because if I'm on shaky ground, I can't do it, Skip. The risk is too great because we haven't seen anything like this. There has to be a limit in which a guy can't play that position, no matter how well he throws the football. Height-wise. Mm-hmm. Now, they say he's going to come in somewhere 5'9.5", maybe 5'10". And
that may be generous.
Maybe generous.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're just going to go back, say, the last 20 years, we're going to look at Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
Drew Brees, a 3-year starter. Russell Wilson, a 4-year starter. Baker Mayfield, a 3.5-year starter.
In college.
In college. Kyler Murray, a 17-game starter. Mm-hmm. So we saw a large body of work that says, okay, 3 full seasons, 4 full seasons, 3.5 seasons. Right. We saw these guys do it over an extended period of time. Because, Skip, that's what we always, a big drawback is that when we see these guys burst on the scene and then they get to the league, you take them high and you're like, well, what happened? Well, there was not a large enough sample size for you to do all your research. Second of all, they said now he's up to 206 pounds. Do you believe he's going to be just as explosive, gaining 15 pounds? Now, you're talking about a guy. Now, I came into the league, I weighed 223, left the league weighing about 223. But Skip, when you put on that kind of weight, and people like, well, 15 pounds, the season's been over since when? January, I think the last was January.
I don't think anybody's suggesting he put on 15, that he just weighs that.
No,
That's
he wouldn't. No, hold on. If that was his natural weight, why was Oklahoma listing him at 195?
Yeah.
And normally when they list you at something, they list you 5 to 10 pounds heavier and a couple of inches taller. So if they listed him at 195, he might have been 185.
Maybe he asked them to go lower.
Why?
Just to send a message that he's a little guy because he doesn't play
Hell
little.
little.
Yeah.
What you mean? Don't see no message. All you gotta do is look at him. I saw him in Atlanta. He little. He is as advertised. He's a smallish man.
He looked like a 200-pounder to me when he played. He runs with stature.
Well, he might be the C.J. Anderson, the quarterback. You think that might be the case, Skip?
I do not.
15 pounds, Skip? You don't think 15 pounds in a month and a half is a lot of
I don't
weight?
think he gained an ounce in the last month and a half. I just think that's his natural weight.
But then why would Peter King say that he's up to 206?
I don't think he said he's up to. It just he weighs 206. He can't get fat.
So somebody lying.
Huh?
False advertising.
Well,
okay, that's
how many college weights in the program are correct?
I'm talking about him.
None.
We ain't talking about him.
None.
We ain't talking about them. We talking about him. Okay, back to your original question. Skip, I'm not so sure now. If I have a first-round pick and it's in the laters, I might be willing, but I can't. I cannot at first top 5, top 10 pick. I can't do it, Skip, unless, now if you Coach Belichick, you have at it. If you one of these guys that's on firm footing, have at it. But Skip, if you shaky, you can't risk this.
Okay. So I am here to say that every team that passes on Kyler Murray from 1 until 13, where he is right now projected in most mock drafts to go to Miami, every team above that needs a quarterback that passes on Kyler Murray will live to regret it. And I'm here to say that if I'm Arizona, I just close my eyes and take him with the first overall pick.
Okay, before you say that now, in order for them to live to regret it, he has to win a Super Bowl. Other than that, it doesn't matter. So
I think he can win a Super Bowl. Absolutely, I think he can win a Super Bowl. And by the way, just for the record, obviously, I grew up lifelong University of Oklahoma fan. And just for those who might say, oh, you're overreacting because I said Baker should go number 1 last year, and I think I was proven right about that. I said there's no way I would touch Sam Bradford, especially with the first overall pick. I never liked him. I said he would be perpetually hurt in the NFL, and he was. I never loved him in college. He always disappointed me in college, and I said I just don't want any part of him in pro football, and the St. Louis Rams took him number 1 overall and gave him $50 million guaranteed dollars.
And guess what? And he's been hurt, he's been underachieving, and he folds like a banquet chair at the end of the night. Okay. He's scary.
Okay. All right. So, just that's for the record. So, once again, this is back-to-back years. I'm saying I would take this Oklahoma quarterback number 1 overall, and I get you. It was just 1 year body of work.
He started 3 games at Texas A&M.
What's that?
He started 3 games at Texas A&M.
Why they let him go? Why it didn't work
he
there?
Wanted out.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay.
It still baffles me why they didn't manage to hang on to him. But I saw enough last year. I saw enough against Alabama in the national semifinal, and I kept telling you the biggest issue facing Oklahoma going into the national semifinal is the best receiver, who's going to go somewhere in the middle of the first round, Hollywood Brown, is hurt and hurt bad.
Hurt.
Didn't I say that?
He was hurt.
And he needed Liz Frank surgery, and to his credit, he went out there and hobbled on that foot in that game.
As long as he could.
Okay, he hobbled. He tried.
Yep.
I give him high marks for the guts.
So do I.
He just went out there and at least he decoyed it for a while, right?
Yeah.
As best he could.
Right.
So you're one arm tied behind your back. You're up against an Alabama with one of the top defenses, and you got one of the worst defenses in college football. And the Alabama's going to have the two top running backs go in the first round of the draft.
They might have Jacobs, who didn't start,
that's what I'm saying.
Be a first rounder.
That's what I'm saying. They're both going to. Damian Harris is going to go high.
Right.
They'll be up there somewhere. 1, 2. So my point is this. If you were thinking outside the box enough in Arizona to go get Cliff Kingsbury, and I can't defend it because it just doesn't work, right? It makes no sense. But at least you'd be thinking inside the outside box if then you went ahead and took Kyler Murray number 1 overall because he was born to play for Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah,
Am I right?
All that's fine and good, thinking outside the box. But you think too big outside the box, guess what? You be thinking outside the building.
Okay.
You better be fired.
Right. Well, it might be. I'm just telling you that would be a home run for both Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray, number 1 overall to Arizona. And again, what do you do with Josh Rosen? I don't know and I don't care. I said before the draft, I don't love him.
Right.
And from what I saw last year, I love him less and less. I don't think you can win. I don't think Cliff Kingsbury can win with Josh Rosen. I know he said the other day, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, he said he's our guy. You got to say that.
Sure,
I get it. I get it.
Well, then how good a coach is Cliff Kingsbury?
He's a really good offensive football
He got the guy that had the MVP. Now, Andy Reid took that same guy that he had, got 50 touchdowns out of him, and got to the AFC Championship game.
Okay.
Cliff Kingsbury got to what? Well, how good a coach is he, Skip?
I don't know, but he'd be a lot better with Kyler Murray because that's what Kyler Murray does is what Cliff coaches, right?
Okay.
So I'm going there, and if it's not there, then John Gruden should take him at 4. And if not there, I know the Giants have sort of penciled in Dwayne Haskins. I'm taking Kyler Murray over Dwayne Haskins. I just am. He's just a little more electric.
And then Lincoln
Dwayne's
Riley.
a really good player.
Don't you have to question Lincoln Riley? You got 2 Heisman Trophy winners and you can't win a national championship?
Well, okay.
Well, that was the defense.
Yeah, I mean,
you
they had no chance against Alabama.
Oh, you knew that.
Huh?
You knew that.
I mean, Georgia went double overtime. It was close.
Who?
You know, it wasn't a rout, right?
Against who? Alabama?
No.
I mean, against
Oklahoma, Georgia.
Oh, yeah,
last year.
we let y'all, we spot y'all.
Oh, really?
Spotted?
Bulldog spot.
You're now a wee Georgia?
Am I not from Georgia?
Okay. Are you from Alabama?
Close.
Close. Oh, you're close.
I'm from the Georgia-Alabama line.
Oh,
Okay.
he does.
So I'm going to go so far as to say that I have seen enough of Kyler
Okay.
at a high enough level that right now I'm a little more sold on Kyler than I am on Zion in college basketball because, well, I haven't seen enough of Zion. Have I seen him against, at Carolina? Have I seen him in the ACC tournament? I have not. Have I seen him in the Final Four? I have not.
Well,
Will I get to? We don't know.
The one real competition that you saw against Kyler Murray, have you saw enough? Alabama. Alabama.
Did he not light up Bama?
After we got up 28-0.
Without Hollywood Brown? Did
After
he not light them up?
After we got up 28-0, we felt sorry for you. They about to cut the TV click. They about to cut it off, and then Coach Saban said, let them score.
So Lincoln Riley last week went all the way to comparing him to Kyler Murray, to Barry Sanders. What did I tell you all year? I used the term. I said, I have not seen feet this quick since Barry Sanders. And to me, they might be even a little quicker feet than Barry Sanders. Not escapability, not the acrobatic move.
He might time faster than Barry.
Yeah, I mean,
He just might.
And
I don't know if he's going to run the 40 or not.
No, well, I know he ain't going to time faster than Michael Vick. Ain't nobody touching that 4.33 that Vick ran at the combine. That ain't happening.
I don't know, because Lincoln Riley made a big statement. He said as soon as he steps on the football field in the NFL, he will be the fastest quarterback. And he even went to by far.
That's like saying that when he steps in, Zion Williamson, when he steps in the NBA, he'll be the guy that can bench press the most. What speed? Look at all them slow quarterbacks in it. Which quarterback is in the Hall of Fame ran sub 4.6? Well, maybe Steve Young. All the rest of Peyton Manning. Look at Tom Brady ran a 6 flat. Okay, so speed has nothing to do. You just said
he won't be as fast as Michael Vick, and I think he might be. Because I think Lamar Jackson's faster than Michael Vick, because Michael said that.
Yeah, not the 40, Skip. Skip, I mean, you had not the 40, not just flat, straight line speed. Michael Vick could accelerate. Now, this kid got acceleration like Vick. Because Vick was Vick a couple of steps. That was unbelievable.
I'm just going eye test off television, and it is lightning.
I don't believe he run 4.3. He got to have to run 4.33 to beat Vick's time. You believe he can run 4.33?
I think Lincoln Riley thinks that. And Kyler was asked, have you ever timed? And he said it's like 3 years ago. And he said 4.3. I think he said 4.3 flat.
Yeah, he said it's been a bit, but he said he
ain't run up
done it.
No, I believe when I see it.
Okay, well, you just might see it in a few days.
It don't matter. I don't care.
Yeah.
Tom Brady ain't never run. Tom Brady can't run a 4.3 40.
Use it as an excuse.
That's my point is speed has nothing to do with playing the quarterback.
It can have a whole lot to do if that's part of your repertoire, right?
What's Tom Brady just throw it? Peyton Manning just throw it.
Okay, that's fine, but you can skin that cat a lot of different ways.
I don't want no cat.
Yeah?
Yeah, well,
I don't like cats either. And I don't want to skin a cat either.
Yeah,
but that you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know the analogy.
Okay,
but Peter gonna be calling you.
Yeah.
Skip Bayless is the name. Talk about skinning the cat.
Skinning a cat?
Yep.
Whoever started that?
I don't know what that is.
We should stop it right now. No mercy. Antonio Brown, he's basically done in Pittsburgh. Now the next question is where he'll play next. Pro Football Talk reports the Steelers want to trade him to an NFC team, and their GM said Friday that 3 teams have touched base about a trade. Multiple reports also say the Steelers will avoid trading AB to another AFC North team and the Patriots. Brown has been to the Pro Bowl 6 straight years, but he will turn 31 this summer. So, Shannon,
yes,
what would you give up for AB?
I would give up a 4th round pick. I would start with a 4th, and I'm not going lower than a 3rd. But here's the thing, Skip. If you're not going to redo his contract, leave him alone. If you're not going to redo his contract, Skip.
You just said a mouthful.
Leave him alone.
Okay.
Because a lot of this, and he makes some very valid points and arguments about Ben and wanting to get out and not feeling appreciated, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. Kevin Colbert come out and co-sign what AB had said about Ben's mentality, about it being ownership-like. Mm-hmm. But if you're not going to redo this man's deal, leave him alone. And again, not to get too far, Skip, remember Le'Veon Bell said what they're offering is not as good as you think it is. It's basically a 1-year deal. And that's what they told. Antonio Brown signed a 4-year extension for $68 million. $20 million guaranteed. Mm-hmm. So now he only got $2.5 million due, I think, first league year, March 17, something like that. Skip, if you're not going to give this guy a new deal, leave him alone. I would give him a 4th rounder, going low as a 3rd, because I already know you got to get rid of him, Skip, because he a problem. I already know. It's just like sometimes, Skip, it's like you animal control. You got a dog and he bites somebody, you can't bring it back home. You got to get rid of it. Now, you hope they don't put the dog down. You hope somebody, they nurture him and they get somebody that's better equipped to deal with it.
That's a long shot, but go ahead.
And maybe somebody's better equipped to deal with AB than what you were capable of doing. But with that being said, and I know you got to get rid of him, and I know you want to get rid of him, and you're going to be highly motivated to get rid of him, Skip, and they know what AB represents. Because guess what, Skip? Now, we've seen in the past, Bill Belichick not only traded Drew Bledsoe to an AFC team, he traded it within the division.
He did.
Andy Reid did the same thing to Donovan McNabb. He said, NFC, I ain't worried about the NFC. I'll trade you within the division.
Yep.
The Pittsburgh Steelers says, not only will we not trade you to an AFC North team, and the Patriots, we getting you out of the conference.
That's what they say.
They So what that tells me, they believe this man can still play at a very high level. I believe he's going to be very motivated to show that he can still play at a high level. Because guess what, Skip Bayless? Somebody believe that AB still got 115 catches, about 1,300 yards, and about 9 touchdowns. Because that's kind of what he averages over his last 6 years. 6 straight 100-yard seasons. Think about it. The man had a down year, and he's still over 100. Still around 1,300 yards with 15 touchdowns, and he had a down year. Now, somebody's going to give up that third-round pick. That's as low as I go, Skip. I'm not going any lower than that because I know I got to pay him to keep him happy.
Okay.
But you know, just so you know what you're getting, he's a lion. Lions don't be tamed. And when you least expect it, he might look at you as lunch. So when you least expect it, he might lash out at you in your locker room like he did in his previous locker room. So he's not without fault here, Skip Bayless, and all this thing that's going around, but that's all I got for you. I'll give you a third, but I'm starting with a fourth and hope you take it.
I hear everything you just said, and I'm going to go a step farther, a big step farther. I am not kidding or exaggerating when I say this. If I were an NFL GM, you would have to give me a fourth rounder to take him off your hands.
What?
Yep. Give me a fourth rounder, which means I got no use.
Really?
And one Shannon Sharpe, the Hall of Famer
Yes.
that you are, you said before they gave him the big money, no.
Nope.
Correct?
Yep, I did. Stand by it, too. He made me right.
I also said no. And the flashpoint for both of us was what happened in the locker room at Kansas City after Pittsburgh
Facebook
pulled off a
Live.
big upset.
Correct.
Facebook Live during Mike Tomlin's post-game private thoughts to the team. And some of those included a shot he took at the New England Patriots.
Right.
They got a head start because they played earlier and those blah, blah, blahs, right? And it was a broken rule that I couldn't get over. I couldn't go back from that one.
For sure.
So now Antonio, and I like Antonio personally. Again, I've been around him a lot. When he walks in, he just lights up every room.
Yep.
But that's not what we're talking about here.
No.
We're talking about a still fairly young man who's played 9 seasons in the NFL, and he is going on next year. He will play at 31 years of age. We saw some decline last year, and I don't have time to go through all the metrics, the third-level stats. All of his metrics were down a little bit. Is it because of the feud with Roethlisberger? Probably it was to some degree. But is he going to be worth a $22.2 million cap hit next year, or the following year an $18.3 million cap hit,
Redo the deal, Skip.
or the option year, which has a $19.5 cap hit? Are you talking about do it down?
Yes.
Knock it down?
I tell you what I do, what I'm going to do, AB. How much you said he got the first year? How much next year? How much?
Cap hit is 22.2.
No, we definitely, definitely not playing. No receiver is playing on the 22 on my team. Anyway, so this is what I'm going to do, Skip. I think he has a $25 million. I'll say if you, this year is 13 and a half.
Yep.
Next year is 12. That's $25 million. AB, this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to add some years on that. I'm going to rip this thing up. I'm going to take that $25 million. I'm going to add another $5 million to it. I'm going to give you a $30 million bonus.
Okay.
I'm going to add 3 years to it, and I'm going to prorate it. You're going to make $1 million. That's what I'm going to do for him, Skip. Because I'm going to get that.
You're going to up the ante on guaranteed money.
I'm going to give him guaranteed
Because
money.
that's what he said the other day when he was on the.
I'm going to give him guaranteed money.
Okay.
What was he on the other day? He was doing some exercise
Yeah.
with the treadmill.
Oh, Mr. Big Chest. Oh, Big Chest.
Yeah.
That's what they call him.
yeah.
Mr. Big Chest.
That's what they call him on Big Chest. Oh, Big Chest Brown.
Confident, yeah.
Oh, Big Chest Brown.
Put the Mr. in front
Yeah,
of
oh,
him. You
Mr.
got to
Big
call
Chest
him
Brown.
Mr. Big
Oh,
Chest.
yeah, Big Chest Brown.
Right, and he said in that post on, I think, Instagram,
It was Instagram.
you don't call me unless you're going to guarantee me some money.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, here's the
out his
thing, though,
demands.
Skip. You know that going in.
Yep.
Skip, this is not unknown. It's like, well, I don't know what I'm going to get. If so you know what he is.
Yep.
So if you're not going to do that, Skip, don't bother him. Because if you think you're going to get it and change the scene, change his locale, and say, you know what, he just needed to be out of there, we're going to keep him status quo as far as his base salary. No, you're not. No, you're not. So just go ahead and, hey, Skip, 31 is very young. And we talk about he had a down year. Juju had a career year. Now, we're going to have to see if Juju can put those same numbers when he's getting double teamed and there's no AB on the other side to lift coverage. So because I know what AB can do. AB's been getting double teamed for the last 6 years, and he still put up 126, 135, 130, 129. So I don't worry about AB.
Okay, so if the Pittsburgh Steelers actually want to maximize their return for Antonio Brown, they're going to have to open up the field to this auction. They're going to have to say, we will solicit bids, we'll take bids from AFC teams.
Okay, I will do AFC teams, but just not in the division and just not the Patriots.
Well, you know who will give the most for them would be a division rival because they think chip on shoulder, maybe he'd play to get even. Did Belichick fear Drew Bledsoe?
No, that Drew Bledsoe, Skip, stop. No.
Okay.
Look, here's the thing, though, Skip. Look, if I'm in a relationship, Jenny, you could attest it. You married.
Okay, yeah.
You and your husband y'all get a divorce. You go your separate ways. But don't marry the neighbor. Get your butt, go across town. Go out of the country.
Or the friend?
Yeah. So what you think I'm going to let AB go in the division? I don't care. I don't care if I don't want him
It's not like he has a relationship with the Cleveland Browns, right?
My point is, you get what I'm saying.
Dating the Browns?
No.
Privately?
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see you every.
Close.
Right. I go to a restaurant and there you go post it up with your boo. I wish I might see that. No. You go into California, you go into Minnesota, you go to Green Bay, you go in somewhere, but guess what? I'm not going to see you twice a year.
Guess who doesn't have any leverage right now? To me, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, they don't.
They don't.
No.
So you're going to have to say, come one, come all, and say, what's the best we can get?
If I'm a team, I would say, guess what, old big chest? Old big chest Brian, that's what they call it. Big chest. Yeah. You got to do something with that stash.
Big chest? Where did that come from?
That's what he said. That's what he wanted to be known as.
I know, but
he been working out.
Where did it come from?
He be lifting weights.
Really?
Yep. You got to cut that stash. Ain't nobody, I'm not paying no receiver to giving him $30 million guarantee with no blonde mustache.
That's the issue right now?
Yep. Cut that off. Cut that off of you, boy. I got you.
The biggest issue is Antonio sort of went through the looking glass into the internet, and he decided, because the internet told him what was happening, that he was the equivalent of an NBA superstar. That's how he acts. That's how he carries himself. That's why he thinks, well, I got 3.2 million on IG. They love me. They want me to be a superstar.
He got how many?
And 3.2? That's not that many, actually.
That is a many.
Oh, I don't know.
Then let me go.
It's not LeBron.
Oh, well, hold on, Skip. See, why you got to go? Ain't nobody LeBron.
LeBron's a league of his own.
Yeah, LeBron got more IG followers than all NFL players.
These are football players, and unfortunately for this football player, he plays a dependent position.
Yes.
So if he were a quarterback, okay, you got me. If he were a running back, you might be able to make some case. But when you're a dependent wide receiver and you get the ball sometimes or you don't get it and the defense can take you completely away, it's hard to justify paying him that much money.
San Fran ain't got that, buddy. San Fran going to give up that 4th and 3rd. Kyle Shanahan to do it.
Really? For that much money?
Yeah.
God bless.
They got
good luck.
Good luck. Hey, Green Bay.
Do it.
Oh, him and Devontae?
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, him and Aaron.
That's a lot of
That's
personality.
what I say.
I don't know.
Aaron and him will be at each other's throat game 2. Game 2.
That feels messy to me.
He didn't look at me. He didn't throw. You'd have little Antonio, Mr. Big Chest, throwing the Gatorade on the field.
Big Chest Brown. Yeah. I like old Big Chest Brown.
Throw that Gatorade out on the field.
No.
There'd be frozen Gatorade all over that Lambeau field.
Yeah, he hit somebody with that jug. The Gatorade gonna be frozen in that jug. No, Skip, he's gonna move past that. You know, I'm gonna have a conversation with AB. I'm gonna reach out to him. I'm gonna talk to him and explain to him how he should handle things moving forward. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I don't normally reach out, but I like AB.
Think he's gonna listen to you?
Probably not, but I feel compelled.
You sure he'll take your phone call after you blasted him?
I didn't lie.
Yeah. He did come on our show, and I think that was after.
Yeah, it was after. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was
Let
after.
us know how that conversation goes, what you learn after you talk to him.
I mean, I'll ask him, I say, do you mind if I reveal the conversation that we had on this? I mean, do you mind if, I'm sure he will. You know, I just think there's a way to handle all things. I really do. I'm a big believer in how to handle things and do things the right way.
All right.
You know, Antonio's the classic guy, because I know him, and he'll say to you if you get him on the phone, I got you. I got you. I got you. I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Don't hear you.
But he'll acknowledge it. He'll take your call. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up. Okay, we are going to stay in the NFL, but we're switching gears to a serious story. Robert Kraft could be arrested today. We will have the latest next.
No mercy.
Patriots owner Robert Kraft could be arrested as early as today on charges of soliciting prostitution in Florida. On Friday, Kraft released a statement denying that he engaged in any illegal activity, and the NFL said this morning, quote, "We will take appropriate action as warranted based on the facts." Shannon, what is your reaction to this news?
Disappointment, the shame and the embarrassment that Mr. Kraft has brought upon this league. Someone that's as revered and held in such high regard and standard. He and Jerry Jones are probably the two most visible owners in all of the NFL, two of the most visible owners in all pro sports in North America, Skip.
I think they're the two, right? Is there anybody even
It's hard pressed to say any two owners in NFL carry the weight that these two carry. When they talk, people listen. Other owners listen. The league listens. I'm disappointed in the NFL, Skip, because here's the thing. We are seeking a full understanding of the facts while ensuring that we do not interfere with ongoing law enforcement investigation. We would take appropriate action as warranted based on the facts. The players say, what the hell? Why don't we get that?
They're supposed to get that.
But you know they don't. The NFL say we ain't got to worry. We don't have to worry about the investigation. That's separate from us. But you see how they get. We'll talk about that another time, Skip Bayless. I believe the embarrassment and the shame will be his greatest punishment. Skip, we do have precedent to see how the NFL will handle this. Because remember, about 3 or 4 years ago, Jim Irsay got caught with a controlled substance.
He did.
$180,000 cash, and he was under the influence. He got suspended for 6 games and a $500,000 fine, which is the max. Now, they say Mr. Kraft is worth about $6 billion.
That's what they say.
You find him $500,000. 10% of $6 billion is $600 million. 1% of that is 60. So you got to come all the way down. Come on, keep coming on down, Skip, before you get to before you get to 600,000. So you're talking about the equivalent of maybe $5 to you and I.
Chump change.
Crazy.
Okay, you're suspended for six games. Are the Patriots not going to play? Are they not going to sell concession, parking, merchandise? So he's still going to reap the benefits of owning the team. Now, I believe in this situation, Commissioner Goodell will come down fairly hard. Probably going to suspend him for a year, and rightfully so. It's not easy, Skip. It's not easy for me to speak because you know how I feel about Mr. Kraft. I think he's a great guy. I really do. But he did a bad thing, and this is shameful. And the league says anyone that brings unwarranted attention or to have the NFL look down or cast aspersions upon will be dealt with seriously. This is a serious issue. Now, all the facts, and Mr. Kraft has vehemently denied this, but here's another thing, Skip. I know I was a criminal justice major and I was going to be a lawyer had the NFL thing not worked out. For them to release that man's name, because, see, that's not just Joe Durnt. That man can bankrupt a state local government. So you better have your ducks in a row.
By the way, that man is maybe the closest friend of the President of the United States. Am I right?
Now, they said we have visual evidence.
Well, it was a sting operation that had been going on for a month, right?
6 to 8 months.
Okay. But I mean, if this, I think they said if this massage parlor, whatever it is.
So, Skip, for me, and I've learned, I had to learn through my own experience, Skip. And I don't know if you've ever been accused of something, Skip, you didn't do. But people look at you a certain way, and they feel they know you. Well, I thought I knew him, but I really didn't know him. And so ever since something happened to me in 2010, I always take a step back. I say, you know what, I'm going to let the facts come out. And when the facts come out, the only problem that I have is that the NFL don't let all the facts come out in every case, in every situation. They pick and choose about which facts they want to come out, and then they act appropriately. But I believe the greatest punishment for Mr. Kraft is the shame, the embarrassment that he's brought his franchise, that he's brought his family, and he's brought the fans of New England and the NFL. Because, Skip, I mean, it goes to a deeper issue. This is not about, what we normally think of a John and a Jane. That's not what we're thinking, Skip. This has to do with, human trafficking. And I think this is what
sex trafficking. That was the direction the probe was headed, right?
And Mr. Kraft gave $150,000 to a sex trafficking organization in Massachusetts. So he's full aware of, understand what's going on.
And by the way, the police say they have videotape of 2 Mr. Kraft sessions at this parlor, right?
This is just if some
Okay.
he'd be the last guy that you would think something like this.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but I will do this. This is what I know for a fact. This will further sully the reputation of what I think has become the greatest dynasty in the history of the National Football League, right?
Yeah.
With this latest Super Bowl victory, right, over
Yeah.
the Los Angeles Rams, I think that vaulted the Patriots pretty much to the top. We could argue it all day long. They did have a drought of Super Bowl championships that went 9 years.
They passed the Steelers.
Right?
They passed
I think
the
they
Steelers.
passed the Steelers, and Vince
Cowboys,
Lombardi's Packers and the Cowboys had 2 runs, but not like this run.
Right.
Because this has gone from 2001 through 2019 until 2019, right?
But he brought the team in '94, and they've been to 9 Super Bowls. 9 Super Bowls since this man. So he's on the team for 25 years. They've gone to 9 Super Bowls. Let that sink in.
Well, this has already sunk in for me. Bill Belichick got caught red-handed. I've always said there's some scoundrel in that man. I don't know why, because he's a great football coach. He doesn't need to resort to cheating.
Right.
But he got busted for cheating.
Right.
Deflategate pretty much sullied the reputation of Tom Brady. I thought it was outrageously unfair because I believe with all my heart and soul that all Tom Brady ever said to the equipment people was, I would like my footballs deflated to the lower end of legal.
Right.
The lower end of legal. Do I think Bill Belichick might have had a hand in deflating those footballs further? Could be.
No, Skip, don't do that.
Could be.
No.
Well, it could be. Well, did he not illegally videotape
he
defensive
did.
signals?
He
Yeah, he did that. So, Robert Kraft, I can't call him Mr. Kraft, I'm sorry, but I know you like him. I've never loved him, but again, he's become quite a mover and shaker in Hollywood. You know, he hangs with rappers, Meek Mill, and
On stage with Cardi B.
Yeah, and do you realize that he got the great Elton John to fly in before the Atlanta Super Bowl game, which was in Houston? We were there. That Elton John flew in the night before that Super Bowl to play personally at Robert Kraft's pre-Super Bowl party?
Skip.
That's heavyweight, man.
Look here.
He's got connections.
The only person you can't get to show up when you got his kind of money is God. Anybody else will show up. When you got that kind of money, Skip, do you understand that's that FU money? You worth that kind of money, Skip. Everybody's going to, anybody. President. He can get the president to show up. He can get President Obama to show up. He was just out here, I think Barry Diller had an Oscar celebration. He was out here today.
He was.
Skip, he is a guy of all the owners. If they say, well, what owner you think will be at this? He's more like the owner that'll be at a Snoop Dogg or a Meek Mill or an Ice Cube or something like that. Although they ain't showing up nothing like that. They're going to get their own thing. They're going to hang in their group. He's perfectly comfortable being outside of his comfort zone.
Okay, but does he seek those associations because he has a very close association with Donald Trump?
Well, Skip, I think he's always had that. I don't know. It became more pronounced that he had this relationship with President Trump, candidate Trump, President Trump after he became.
Okay.
I don't think anybody knew they were as close as they were prior to him becoming president. But he's always been, Skip. He's always hung. He Skip. Look at the man dressed. He dresses in Air Force Ones. He don't wear hard bottom shoes. He wear Air Force Ones. He's cool. They're blinged out.
Okay.
And he got a chain. Meek Mill got him a chain that got championships on it with all them dimes. So he got that drip. Mr. Kraft got that drip. But here's the thing, though, Skip. The shame. I mean, let this sink in, Skip. A massage parlor. $59, $79. As a matter of fact, I've been getting massages since 1990, Jenny. I ain't paid $59 or $79 yet.
You have?
I want all my money back. They've been overcharging me.
Really?
They've been overcharging me.
Really?
Yeah, I paid $250. And he get them for $59, $79. But it's a shame, Skip. I mean, because think about it, when you think about it, you're like, what? So now, when they see Mr. Kraft, I have no choice. I mean, a lot of people call him Bob. When they see Mr. Kraft, right now, what's the first thing coming to their mind? They ain't talking about he just won the Super Bowl. The man won 6 Super Bowls since he's on the team. What's next? What's the first thing for moving forward, Skip? When you think about him, what's the first thing that's going to pop to people's head? I bet Google it. Google Bob Kraft right now and see what comes up.
No, obviously. So, if in fact sex trafficking is involved in this sting operation, and it is proven to have been a factor, Should the NFL consider doing to Robert Kraft what it did to Jerry Richardson, which is pressure him to let go of the franchise, to sell the team?
I don't believe so. Skip, I try very, very hard to make sure that when someone has worked their entire life to achieve something, that I'm very, very mindful and very careful not to just take it away in a matter of moments. Mm-hmm. What he did was, and I'm not, please, I'm not trying to minimize human sex trafficking.
Yep.
But what was transpiring in that Carolina organization, Skip,
I got it.
Was a systemic problem.
And it was sustained also.
Yes,
yep.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, now.
I got it.
Now, if you tell me Coach Belichick, you tell me Coach Jonathan Kraft, and you tell me all these other guys were involved, now we've got something, Skip.
Yep.
But I believe this was an isolated incident and should be treated as such, and Mr. Kraft should pay a premium penalty. Now, I don't know what that
the only penalty that could really hurt him is just to take him away from the football games.
Or if all revenues that you might get this year have to go to a charity.
Maybe.
But you know that ain't gonna happen.
I don't think, I just don't think that's good.
He ain't about to give up no $275 million. Now, you know, he might pay $1 million fine, or he might even come out and say, hey, I'll donate $5 million to trafficking or whatever, Skip.
I'm pretty sure that seat up there in that box that we see a couple times a game is going to be empty for a while.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
It might be even for a year.
Maybe. It could be for a year. I agree with you.
But I tell you what I do know, he'll always do what he thinks right for the NFL. And if Roger Goodell goes to him, Commish says, you know, Bob, I need you to take one for the team. I need you to shut this one down for a year.
Yep.
Oh,
That's what he'll do.
It's hard to even talk about, though, because you just...
Like I said, I've talked to the man
sick to myself.
off camera.
I know.
So I like to think I have a good relationship. Skip, I never saw it.
I understand.
And I thought it was a joke. I thought when it came out, like, oh, man, somebody
I thought
played
that,
it.
too.
I said, nah, come on, stop.
I didn't think it was a joke, but go ahead.
You didn't?
I did not.
Oh, yeah.
He is charming. He is gregarious and gracious.
Okay, yeah. You tell me he got a 25-year-old girlfriend or a 22-year-old girlfriend, that's one thing. At a seedy massage parlor is something entirely different, Skip.
Well, we may have some more news today, so we will be paying attention to the latest. We're going to go back to the NBA. Did LeBron throw his teammates under the bus
Yeah.
this weekend?
Okay.
Big old bus.
Said a lot. Chris Broussard is going to
bias.
answer that question next.
No mercy.
Back to the NBA. Well, LeBron and the Lakers continued to struggle over the weekend with a loss to the Pelicans, who were playing without Anthony Davis. The Lakers are now 1 game under 500, 3 games behind the Clippers for the 8th seed. After the game, LeBron said everyone's accustomed to the losses, but, quote, I'm not accustomed to it. I'd never get comfortable with losing. But that wasn't all that he had to say about his teammates. Take a listen.
It's how you approach the game every day. It's how you think the game every day. It's how you play the game. It's how you prepare for the game. And that's not even like when you get to the arena. That's like way before that. You know, like, is basketball, is that the most important thing while we're doing this? So you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I'm not saying that's what we are as a whole. Kind of looks that way at times, that, you know, sometimes we feel like we're afraid to be uncomfortable, kind of get out of our comfort zone, you know, kind of, you know, have that sense of urgency, you know, from the jump, and not be afraid to actually go out and fail to succeed. So, I mean, we have 23 games left. Let's see what happens.
We are joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Good morning.
Finally, some objectivity.
Good morning. That's right.
Yeah.
Chris.
That's right.
That's what I do. I'm king of
Okay,
objectivity.
can we just wait on you for a second? I'm going to start with Chris here. LeBron had a lot to say. What do you make of those comments?
Shannon, you know I'm usually with you in defending LeBron. But I keeps it real, and I didn't like it. I was disappointed.
Skip, what did I say?
He did say.
You did
he
say?
should have
Okay.
said it privately instead of
Yeah.
publicly.
Okay. I'll give you that. Because I don't watch y'all.
I don't even think he
watch
should have said it
Shannon,
privately.
So I
Fair
know
enough.
I'm
Gotta have
objective
your
when I
fresh
come out here.
opinion.
Okay,
Good.
so I'm glad you can. Okay. It was just too much me and them. And look, there's a time to drop the hammer, especially when you're the best player in the world, you're the leader, you got championships. There's a time to do that. But there's also a time to hug your teammates, to encourage them, to support them, to let them know you're with them. And I thought this was that time. There were some things that baffled me. So LeBron talked about guys haven't been there. Do they know what they're missing out on? You know, if they haven't been there. Well, who are you talking about? JaVale McGee's got 2 championships. Tyson Chandler's got 1. Rajon Rondo's got 1.
Okay, that adds up to 4.
Right.
LeBron's got 3, and the rest of them have 4. So they've never been there.
And a couple of them came at the expense of LeBron. Rondo's, Chandler's, McGee. I mean, all of them actually.
Right. Yeah.
Lance Stevenson's been deep in the playoffs. So he was talking about essentially Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma. Ingram gave you 29 points. Kuzma played okay.
He did.
Reggie Bullock, is he throwing him in there too? I don't know. It was just too much. And coming off a game where, look, LeBron was spectacular offensively. He threw some pocket passes, some full court passes. Yes.
No, I give you that.
And he obviously gave you his 27.
He was not in his usual attack mode.
No, and that's a.
What about them threes?
No, he hit some 30-footers.
He had 3 threes in the third quarter, and they lost the third quarter by 4 points. Just for the record, go ahead.
Okay.
He missed 4 of 6 free throws, though.
He did.
And you said, and I was going to bring this up later, but he wasn't in his usual attack mode. LeBron has always been like, I've even asked him privately, why don't you just play point guard? He's never wanted to fully commit to a point guard, but yesterday he was pretty much fully committed to point guard.
He was. I agree.
I think part of the reason he doesn't want to fully commit is because he gets himself out of scoring. Now he's going to get you 25 no matter what.
Right.
But he's not. He only took 17 shots, only 6 free throws, so he wasn't attacking. I don't think he knows that balance yet between being that point guard, but also scoring 35 or 30 or whatever.
What did you see in the first 3 games in the first finals against Golden State when there was no Kyrie and no Kevin Love? What did you see?
He played essentially point guard.
And he played attack.
Right? And he shot, now he only shot 30-something%, which he hates to do.
Okay, but he
believes in efficiency, but you're right.
devastated.
I think he just had no choice.
He had no choice, but I loved it, man. They were in position.
If he can find that balance, like Miami, I don't think, when he played point guard, I think he was more distributor, but it was fine because you had Wade and Bosh.
Yeah.
Right.
And yesterday, but that plays into the discomfort. I would say to LeBron, you be uncomfortable and go get me 45. That's not, he don't like to do that.
There you go.
Right? He likes to give you 27, 12, 10, whatever. Go be uncomfortable. We need the 45.
He needs more James Harden.
Right, we need that. And then defensively, that was their whole problem yesterday. And LeBron's been bad defensively. It just is what it is. Since I got this from Steve, our researcher, your guy, they were 10th. They were 10th defensively when LeBron got hurt. They were 7th defensively when he was out. Even though they were losing, they couldn't score.
Really?
But defensively, they were great. Since he's been back, they're 25th defensively. So I'm just saying, this was not the time to separate yourself from your teammates, and that's. But I didn't know you. Okay, I give you that. All right, that's.
I agree. You look at LeBron use the word like approach, the way you think the game, the way you prepare for the game, and I don't just mean on game day. He's talking from an inside position, knowing, seeing how. Because the thing is, this about LeBron. He's very observant. You watch the way the guys prepare. Who's taking it serious? Do you know what's at stake? And you're right, LeBron, but that's why you came here. You came here to lead this team, to help them understand the gravity of the moment and to never squander, never take anything for granted because these moments are precious. While they have more time than you do, it's your job. This is what you signed up for. Because it's not like you went to Golden State.
Right.
It's not like you went to a team that had perennial guys that had been championship caliber. JaVale McGee, but JaVale McGee was an ancillary part. I mean, Festus Ezeli has a ring, and he played the same role that JaVale McGee did. Tyson Chandler was a bigger piece, but he was much younger then. That's not the Tyson Chandler that we see today. I get all that. And like I said, my thing is, if you can say whatever you say publicly, if it can be said and conveyed in the same way privately, do that. But every time that you're upset that guys don't perform to the level that you think they should, you can't call them out publicly. They still upset because it was all well and good. Man, LeBron coming here to play with us. Ooh, yeah, LeBron.
He chose us.
And that was their body language.
And Lonzo was he was Lonzo's favorite player growing up.
But playing with a guy like LeBron is demanding. And then he demanded that we be gone. and now we here. So we don't look at LeBron and say, well, nah, whatever. I ain't listening to you. You wanted me up out of here.
So you think that's the mentality they have now?
Yeah. They're not playing with that same. They're not. In the consistency, you mentioned like Ingram gave you 29, but he might give you 13 tonight. They get no consistency.
What drives me the most nuts about the greatness of LeBron James is that somehow he has become the biggest finger-pointing excuse maker in the history of sports on a nightly basis. And I don't know why he needs to keep doing this, especially now. This team doesn't need for him to be pointing fingers in the locker room. They have enough trouble caused by him and Rich Paul at the trade deadline.
Ain't caused by him and no Rich Paul. And the Brown wanted out. LeBron had no bearing on that. LeBron is a client.
Did they not try
clutch.
to bully Dell Demps into giving up Anthony Davis for about half of the Lakers? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anthony Davis.
Yes.
Anthony said he's not signing a long-term deal. I don't understand how LeBron, because he's a client of Rich Paul at Clutch Sports, how we drag him into this.
He's the CEO.
No, he's not. That's Rich Paul's company.
So, back to Saturday night. LeBron James could have so easily, as the unquestioned leader of the Los Angeles Lakers, dismissed what had just happened in New Orleans by saying, hey, for whatever reason, Anthony decided not to play or they chose not to play him. And we didn't take them seriously enough because they had just played back-to-back on the road at Indiana. They'd lost by 15 with Anthony Davis.
Yeah, you're right.
So at home, obviously the Lakers didn't come out with the necessary urgency and intensity for what was about to hit them right between the eyes.
That's what LeBron
because
said.
Because those Pelicans without Anthony Davis are actually more dangerous because they got chips on shoulders. Those Pelicans, especially Julius Randle, who still has it in for the Lakers for not hanging on to him, they're going to come at you with both fists. They're going to try to take it out on you, so you need to match their intensity and urgency in the first quarter, and if you get off to a hot start, trust me, they'll say, no mas, thank you very much, we just played last night and lost at Indiana. But that did not happen. And all of a sudden, LeBron reaches for, how many in here know what's at stake if you've never been there? And I'm thinking, how many know what's at stake? And I look down the roster of playoff games played, and Rondo's played 105, and Tyson's played 75, and JaVale 44, and Lance 57.
That's why LeBron got him.
Okay, but
that's why he got him,
because
because
there are a whole
they
bunch
know.
of people. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 7 players in that locker room who have playoff experience. So don't tell me it's all a bunch of kids who have never been there and done this before, right? There are only 3 kids who have never, and you could throw Reggie Bullock in there if you want to, but there are 3 kids who don't know.
Skip, you look at the minutes they play in. Other than Rondo, Caldwell Pope playing 16 minutes. Tyson Chandler played less than 5. Lance played less than 11. You keep telling me all these guys, but they're playing marginal minutes. Talk to me about Kuzma. Talk to me about Brandon Ingram. Those are the guys that's playing the major minutes.
But their problem was defense.
It
Those guys brought it on offense. And LeBron is included in the defensive malaise.
Yeah.
That's they scored 115 points. They had, 33 assists, 33 assists.
Turnovers.
They had turnovers.
Free throw shooting.
LeBron was 2 for 6 from the line. 4 turnovers.
I got to go on.
I mean, I just can't.
I got to go on and bring
the
Skip a
things
case.
that were the problems, LeBron was a part of that.
He said 80% for a case of doom.
Yeah, you definitely. He could probably make every free throw from the rest
You know
of the
what?
season.
I think mathematically you're correct.
And
He'd
not
have to make
shoot
like the next 50 in a row or whatever it
I don't
is
know if
to
it's
get
gonna
to
happen.
80.
It might be.
I think it's over.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I think with LeBron, and he talks about the discomfort, being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
I really think he is. Like, we debated that last week.
Sure.
Down
Fine.
3-1.
He likes it. Okay.
He grew up, moving around all over. Like, he's maybe used to that.
Fine.
And I think when I was with him a lot when he was first in Cleveland. And it was no finger pointing for the most part. It was harmonious. You saw them doing the little photos before game.
Yeah,
it was
got it.
harmonious, and he didn't have any other stars. But what did get him? 60-something wins and out in the second or third round. He goes to Miami, drama every year. Back to Cleveland, drama every year. But we won 3. We got there to the finals every year. I feel like LeBron thinks that's necessary. For him to, that's what, to be uncomfortable is necessary. And for him, it may be. But that's not true for everybody.
Exactly.
You know, and he creates that everywhere he goes probably because he feels it's
Okay,
necessary.
I hear what you just said, but then LeBron reaches on Saturday night for, I'm not accustomed to losing. It's just not how I'm built. And he says, so losing game 1 to Houston, actually game 1 was at Portland. I don't know what he's talking about, but whatever.
But he just said the game, you lost the first
whatever.
game.
Home opener.
So losing game 1 to Houston, it feels the same way as losing game 59. Then why did you say last week, I'm going to have to prematurely activate into my playoff mode? Because that statement made me say, well, wait a second. Michael Jordan never talked about
We
activating.
ain't talking about no Michael Jordan.
Okay? Well, I'm talking about Michael Jordan because you always talk about him, and he doesn't deserve LeBron James to be in the same breath with Michael Jordan.
He does.
Well, he doesn't because Jordan played game 1 like it was a playoff game.
Anyway.
Whatever? No, that is
here's
it.
your ammo. I'm going to give you a nigga. LeBron has played 60 more playoff games than Michael Jordan and 110 more regular season games.
Okay, so
what? Jordan
So we
in
gotta
his
pace
last years
ourselves?
couldn't. Yeah,
Okay.
he really does have to pace himself.
Every year that the Bulls won the championship, Scottie Pippen led the team in assists. Michael Jordan was
That's
never.
apropos of absolutely zero. Okay?
My point is, no one has ever been asked to carry the burden offensively like LeBron James has.
Michael was. He did everything. He scored all their points.
Name the year that Michael Jordan led. LeBron James has never, in 16 years, this will be a 16th season, he's going to lead the team in scoring and assist again. He's asked to do more, Skip, than anybody else in the history of the game.
Michael had the weight of the world on his shoulders. He had to score almost every possession, every shot clock, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They just gave it to Michael. Yeah. You do it.
And like you said, LeBron James, you say you're comfortable being uncomfortable.
Sure.
Well, you're gonna have to be uncomfortable and get comfortable scoring 40.
Okay, but how would you feel if you're one of his teammates, young or old, and he's saying, well, I took game 1 just as hard as I took the loss, and they're thinking, well, wait a second, why didn't you activate for game 1?
Because I know he ain't gonna be talking to me because I'm gonna give him that work. Because I know when John said what he said, I know he wasn't talking to me because I just hit him up over the head for $150 and 2 tubs.
Here's a possible explanation for LeBron.
What is it?
Players talk about in the playoffs, you're just more focused. Yes. You're more zeroed in, film study, so on and so forth.
You got one opponent.
Maybe it's that. Maybe he's saying mentally, I got to zero in and focus more. And, I think he would have said this, but I'm just throwing it out there. Did he mean I'm going 0 dark 30? Because he doesn't he, or 0 dark 23, 30, whatever he calls it, where he turns off social media.
He turned it off. He ain't talking.
Is he doing? Has he posted anything
recently?
He
ain't taking my calls.
I haven't seen
He normally take my calls.
I don't know, but I want to see LeBron turn it on, and you're right. Get uncomfortable, go and get me 45. I need it.
Hey,
we need it.
Because
I gotta make it. You gotta get in.
With no Anthony Davis on the floor, if Saturday night, minute number 1 of that game, he just went into full-on attack mode and went in and just sledgehammered.
Could have ended it early.
Oh, because you remember he put that? He put his head down and went down there. New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like,
I saw that one time. That was 1 second of that game.
Just let you know.
And then in the end, LeBron reaches for the injury excuse and says, obviously it sucks that my injury happened and Lonzo's injury happened and so many of our injuries happened. Everybody has injuries.
Those are facts.
Everybody. Do you hear Greg Popovich say, if we only had DeJounte Murray, who's turned into the best two-way point guard? Oh, really? They don't need that quitter.
Yeah, they do. Don't do what?
Quitter. He's a quitter.
No, he's not.
Did he play last night?
No. That workload.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
He's saving himself.
He's saving himself. Aha.
That workload.
Yeah. Well, he was saving
himself. Load management.
Really, load
And he got so hyped. That game was so hyped.
Yeah.
And then he came up with that play. He just reached out and took that ball from DeRozan.
He did
not. Down emotionally.
Kyle Lowry took the ball.
Don't do that, Skip, baby.
Don't
deny it.
We will see what Kawhi's made of in May.
With them New Balances.
We will see.
You saw them New Balances. He got them New Balances.
He's been resting.
He should be ready. Toronto, when they've added the players they've added, they got a roster now.
The East is going to be so fun. The playoffs.
Wow, because Jeremy Lin and
Jeremy Lin is
Marcus All, they got
a whole
depth.
different conversation. How about we stay, though, in the West? Because the Warriors, maybe they should be scared of the Rockets? We'll discuss next.
No mercy,
The Rockets pulled off a huge upset Saturday night, beating the Warriors, and they did it without James Harden, who had the flu. Chris Paul had 23 points and a season-high 17 assists in the win. Golden State is still first in the West, and the Rockets are the 5th seed, but Houston has beaten the Warriors all 3 times they've played this year. So Chris Broussard is still with us, but first, Shannon. How much stock do you put into this game?
I put a lot of stock into it because I believe had they had Chris Paul last year, they win Game 7. I believe they beat him. And for whatever reason, they do not fear this team. They're one of the few teams that in all the NBA, especially the Western Conference, that does not fear the Golden State Warriors. Chris Paul, he will attack Steph Curry.
Right.
PJ Tucker will get up into Kevin Durant as close as he possibly can. They switch every single thing. They got guys that can slide their feet, skip, and stay in front of people. And they make shots. Chris Paul was unbelievable.
He was unbeliable.
You look at this.
That was one of the best games I've ever seen him play.
It was
in total control. But you look at PJ Tucker. He had 18 points, 10 rebounds.
Yep.
Kenneth Faried, Skip, he sat 2 years on the bench at Denver. He goes to Brooklyn and can't get off. Oh, he's this, he's that.
Yep.
You know, sometimes, and I've said this before, having been a player in a professional league, is that sometimes when people have a perception of you, no matter where you go, that perception follows. Now he goes to Houston, 20 and 10. Capella only didn't have a great game scoring, but he had 15 rebounds. Eric Gordon, a monster. CP3, again, a monster. And they didn't make shots, Skip. I mean, like Steph Curry was cold early. I mean, he made a few shots. Kevin Durant was Kevin Durant. PJ Tucker can bother him as much as he can. But look, dude's 7 foot tall. Shooting the ball at almost a 10-foot arc. There ain't nothing you can really do with that, Skip. You see how they played this game? Now, they've beaten them without Chris Paul. They've beaten them without James Harden. The question is, can James Harden, now he's in a mode where I need to do all this. Can he get out of that? Just says, okay, now I don't need to score 30. I don't need, are we going to move the ball?
Right.
Because this is how they beat them. They got no ISO player. They move the ball. You look at all these assists they have, they're like 26 assists, and Chris Paul had 17 of them. Skip, this means something because it goes to the psyche. A lot of teams don't believe they can beat Golden State. They believe they can beat this team. They believe had Chris Paul been healthy last year, they would have beat him. And a part of beating someone, Skip, especially when they're as talented and represent what the Warriors represent, is belief. Do you honestly, now don't give me no lip service, do you really believe that you can beat them? And I believe to a man, the Rockets believe they can beat the Golden State Warriors.
I agree with pretty much everything you said. You know, we say it in boxing, styles make fights.
Yes.
It's true in basketball, too.
Yeah.
I remember in 2009 when LeBron's Cavs, 66 wins, lost to Orlando. Orlando was just a style they couldn't match up with.
Big man kick.
Right. I think those Cavs might have won the championship if they had gotten there, but they couldn't match up with Orlando style. Remember when Golden State beat Dallas? Dallas had won 60-something games.
Yeah.
Golden State had handled them in the regular season, then beat them in the first round of the playoffs as the 8th seed. So there is something to this. Now, if they meet in the playoffs, I will pick Golden State. I think they will win. But the Rockets could beat them. They might be the only team you look at and you say they can beat them. I think there's 3 keys for the Rockets to beat them. One is defense. They've gotten better with that. You said it about PJ Tucker. You can't stop Kevin Durant, but he makes it tough on him. Secondly is the toughness. Like when Cleveland beat Golden State, and even you mentioned when Kyrie and Kevin Love were hurt, when they made it tough on them, they got physical with them. When Steph and Clay are running off screens, you're bumping them here and there, you know, and subtly nudging them and stuff. They got that in PJ Tucker, Kenneth Faried, Austin Rivers is tough. So they have that. And then the third key is what you alluded to, finding the balance offensively between Harden and Chris Paul. They are on, since Chris Paul got back, in the 10 games he's played, they are 5-5. Because they haven't been maximizing him. They've thrown him in there like Eric Gordon or Gerald Green or whoever, and you basically are a part of the James Harden show.
Right.
And he's not a selfish player, I don't believe, but he's in this mode, and the teammates are in it too.
Yeah.
Like they're happy with him getting his 30.
Sure.
But they're not, they have to edge their way back to what they were last year, which was Chris was Chris was just as much a part. His numbers weren't as prolific, but he got his chance to shine just as James did. He wasn't just an ancillary part. They have to somehow get back to that, and then I think they could really give Golden State some trouble.
I don't agree with anything I just heard.
Did you watch the game Saturday night?
Did I? Go look at my Twitter line, see if I didn't tweet about it. If James Harden had played Saturday night, it was the reverse of what happened to LeBron
against Anthony Davis,
New Orleans.
Interesting.
If James Harden plays, Golden State wins going away. If Draymond doesn't go down with about 9 minutes left, 8:56 left, I think Golden State still comes back and wins that game. It's the same Houston team that just last Thursday night had blown another big lead, this one 19
they'll blow a lead now.
at Lakers, 19. So over the last month, they've blown a 29-point lead and a 19-point lead and a 15-point lead. Those are the Rockets. And I'll give you one guy. I give you PJ on defense. He's not afraid of Kevin Durant. He gets up in him.
He ain't
He
afraid
gets
of
very
anybody.
physical. You're right. He's got the greatest sneaker collection in the history of collections. He just rules the world when it comes to sneakers, right?
I'm close second.
Well, you're second? I do not think you're even in the ballpark of this guy. But I give you Chris Paul. This goes back to his Clipper days. He just despises everything Golden State, and it started a long time ago under Mark Jackson, and he likes to go out there and just mix it up with them, and he's not afraid. But I will submit to you that if Golden State plays Houston, Golden State will win in 5, and I'm being generous because it could be a sweep.
No way.
With no Mbamute and no Trevor Ariza, they're just not quite the same to me. And I agree with you. Austin Rivers has given him a nice little pop, and he's not afraid because of his father and his upbringing. He's not afraid. I just don't think they're good enough. They haven't shown me enough this year. So right now, they're 34-25. They're sitting in the 5th seed. And by the way, they're just barely above the Jazz, game back. Clippers, Spurs,
all
only
close.
2 games
Yeah, it's
back.
close.
You know, like Houston, if they go on a little cold streak here, they could wind up in the 8th seed.
But
They could.
But Skip and Chris, you know what used to separate Golden State from everybody else was their bench. Their bench has become very average, very mediocre. Skip, nothing
Yeah,
jumps.
but they added DeMarcus Cousins.
But he's a
Like,
starter. They've inserted him
Right.
into the starting lineup now.
Yep.
But so when you look at it, I mean, Iguodala, Kevin Looney, Jerebko, Quinn Cook. I mean,
It's not close to
No,
what it
it's not what it used to be.
Yeah.
'Cause
Sean Livingston's, he's
He's a little older.
He's a little older
not
than
quite the
that.
same.
Andre's a little older. That $15 million, $16
I don't know,
million
it's still
year to
pretty
date.
good. I'll go Golden State in 5 in that series.
Nah.
You picking them? You want to go on record right now?
Hold on, Skip.
Okay.
That wasn't the question. See, why
It
you
was
always-
the
No, it
question.
was not the question.
It's the ultimate question.
Did it mean
How much
that-
stock do you put
I
in
put
it?
a lot of stock.
Okay. Do you put enough stock into saying that Houston will eliminate Golden State so that
they might-
LeBron can get to a
Some-
9th straight finals?
Somebody,
Is that
might-
where
somebody-
we're headed?
someone might eliminate both of them.
Okay.
All I'm saying is, if James Harden, as Chris and I would discuss, if James Harden going to stay in that role where he's averaging 37 a night, because if
try.
they do, they're not going to beat him.
I don't know.
Right.
The ball movement is what beats
They
them.
better get a whole bunch of whistles in the postseason because you saw what happened when the whistles went quiet against the Lakers the other
Yeah.
night.
Well, you know
That is
that
true.
happens in the playoffs. James Harden is not getting those calls in the
not
playoffs.
getting
That's
those calls.
another reason they need to wean themselves off
Right.
of this Harden all the time offense.
And plus, Golden State didn't shoot free throws well. They were 14 of 20, and the Rockets were 22 of 24.
Actually, the stats say Golden State played pretty well enough to win this game. If you look at they made, 39% of their three-point shots, right?
Houston got up 43 and made 16.
Well,
The challenge for the bigger, again, I wouldn't pick them to beat Golden State, but Houston could just get eliminated by somebody else. They may not even get to Golden State. But if they get to them, I think they will give them the toughest matchup.
yeah.
Because like you said, they firmly believe they can beat them.
Well, for one night, Chris Paul didn't need insurance, right? Because every time I
That's
look
a
up,
whole
he
nother
needs
thing.
more.
He's gotta
needs
be- yeah,
insurance,
he's
right?
That ain't no Cliff.
He got to stay.
Cliff Paul.
Cliff Paul. He's not. He's just
Cliff
Chris.
Paul.
But that insurance agent lives with him, right? He just hangs with him. It's unbelievable.
Chris, hey,
And something's always going wrong.
It's always
There's
tragic.
a calamity, right?
He is the perfect guy for that with the injuries, you know.
and you know what? And the thing is, if I'm a free agent, I'm going to Houston. Because Chris Paul will get me in all his commercials. He get all his boys. He get all his boys.
He does. That is
I'm a good
true.
TV star.
The Rockets face the Warriors again. They could go for that regular season sweep March 13th.
I got
That
the
game
Rockets.
in Houston.
I got the
Do
Rockets
you
right
really?
now. You want something to do on that? You over there
I
talking
might. Let's get closer to the game. I'm going to see who's
This
healthy.
guy wants to make a bet.
Oh, now
so
we want to see who's healthy.
And he's been trying to make a bet all day.
I kind of like this. You said it, so it's on the table
we're
right
gonna
now.
do it, or we're gonna
I kind of
wait?
like it.
How about
No,
you
I
like-
got to wait. I got to see who's healthy.
But you want me to pick them to beat them in the playoffs. What if James Harden's not healthy? What if Chris Paul's not healthy? But you picked them.
If James Harden's not healthy, you might have a better shot.
Whatever.
We got a couple weeks before we have to make
Whatever.
sure we do it. Okay, Chris, thank you for joining us today. A former teammate is taking shots at
Uh-oh.
Big Ben. We'll tell you
Again?
who. Again, yes, next.
No mercy.
Steelers GM said last week that Ben Roethlisberger is unquestionably the leader of this team. Then he called the other 52 players on the roster, quote, kids. Well, Big Ben's former teammate, Hines Ward, didn't hold back, saying Roethlisberger shouldn't air out his issues with teammates in public, and added, quote, I just think he has to take the initiative to kind of do more as a leader. So, Shannon, do you agree with Hines?
Nope. Therein lies the problem right there, Skip, because they're trying to force him into a role that he's ill-equipped to handle. Kevin Colbert is trying to do that. Kevin Colbert's trying to say he's our unquestioned leader. In all my 14 years, in all my years of playing organized sports, Skip, I've never had a coach says this guy in the locker room is our unquestioned leader. I never heard him say that. I definitely had never heard a general manager say that and then refer to grown men as kids when half the locker room probably have kids of their own. That's another argument. But Skip, what Kevin Colbert was trying to do, he's trying to force Ben as a leader, and it'll never work. You know what, Skip? There's never been a situation where an owner, a general manager, a head coach can say, this guy's your leader. You know what you do? You have a locker room, and the guys will watch. And you watch, Skip, the guys will gravitate towards the leaders in that locker room. That's why you have to be careful not to have too many bad apples, right? Because sometimes bad apples can be very good leaders, Skip.
Yep.
And it leads you down the wrong path. It's just like the locker room is a pack. Skip, you have a singular dog. I've had dogs. I never told now I want him to be the leader and I want you to follow.
They just take over.
They
Yep.
just do. That's how the locker room works.
Yep.
Skip. They watch what you do. They see how you work. They see how you talk to players, how you talk to coaches, the equipment guy, trainers, the people at the front. They watch all that, Skip, and they come to their conclusion. He's a hell of a football player, but he's a terrible leader. I'm not listening to him. I'm not following him. The biggest mistake that we tend to make is that because the guy makes the most money, the guy plays the quarterback position, he has the C on his jersey, he's the leader. No, that's not the case.
But most of the time it's the case.
A lot of the time,
Yep.
that should
I
be
would
the
go
case.
to most. In NFL locker rooms, it's mostly the case that the quarterback's the leader. Mostly.
You tend,
More often than not.
if that is the case, your quarterback is a good leader and he is the leader, more times than not, you have a harmonious locker room and you tend to win.
Yep.
And you don't have this popping up all over the place. But see, here's the thing. Now, Emmanuel Sanders said this long time ago, that Peyton Manning is a way, way better leader. Oh, he's disgruntled. Antonio Brown has been linked talking about this. Oh, he's a receiver. You see, if someone says something and you don't like the criticism that he's labeling against a person that you like, you'll find a way to undercut it. Well, he's a diva. He plays the receiver position. Hines Ward. Again, they'll come out and try to undercut Hines. I've said this before. The Pittsburgh Steelers were a much better football team when Ben didn't have to lead. They had Jerome Bettis.
I'll
they
buy
had
that.
Hines Ward.
Yep.
They had Alan Faneca. They had
Those
Troy
are-
Polamalu.
You
They
just
had-
said mouthfuls of natural-born leaders.
They had Joey
Yep.
Porter, and
They
he and
did.
Joey Porter hadn't been, they had this separating because Joey pulled him to the side.
Yep.
Bruh, he's terrible as a leader and a lot of other things. That
Okay.
kind of spilled over, but that's not. We get to that another day. It's becoming very apparent that the people in the locker room see Ben for who and what he is. Now the rest of the world is getting an opportunity to see. And I said this, what, Skip? They tell me, well, Shannon, how do you know? You're not in the locker room. Well, how about some guys that's been in the locker room and keep saying the same thing? How many times does someone say, this guy is not the leader that you think he is before you start to take them seriously?
Yep.
Or you can continuously undercut their argument because of the position that they play?
Yeah. I do agree with your biggest picture point. Leaders are born, they're not appointed.
Agree.
Nope.
You cannot appoint somebody. You be the, I'm just
Doesn't
not,
happen.
I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have the intangibles. I don't have the knack, the savvy, the know-how. It just doesn't come easily to me to lead. I'm a solo act. That's what usually happens.
Right.
I did like what Hines Ward said in one way, because it was the LeBron James memorial criticism of Ben. It was, don't do it publicly on your radio show. At least try to go behind closed doors.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Yes.
Pull somebody to the side. Keep it band of brothers on the radio show, but pull people to the side and say, this is what I need from you. That would be more quote unquote leadership than blasting Antonio on a radio
But
show.
Skip, what happened is Ben is thinking he called in. You still the quarterback of the team. You can't say what Joe America is thinking. You the quarterback.
Yeah.
So you can't publicly criticize AB or James Washington. Skip, you remember when Le'Veon Bell was thinking about coming back. Ben Roethlisberger on his radio show says, well, I don't care if AB comes back. I think James Conner should continue in his role. You and I look like, hold on, wait a minute, Ben. You're the quarterback. That's coaches and people behind the scenes. Why are you saying this publicly?
Yeah.
And so Ben doesn't realize, okay, you have a radio show. You're not a caller in of that radio show. You're still the quarterback.
Yeah.
You do know that's going live. You do know your teammates are going to hear what you're saying about them.
Well, obviously, Ben has had a hard time through his career leading himself off the field, starting with the motorcycle and then the two incidents that we don't need to get deep into.
Right.
We all know what they were.
Right.
And that's the problem. That's where he lost some respect in the
Right.
locker room as the quote-unquote leader.
Right.
What Kevin Colbert said last week was desperation to me.
Right.
It's also somewhat of an indictment of a guy I still love, a guy I've always said, if I played, I'd want to play for that guy, Mike Tomlin.
Right.
Sure.
But it's a little bit of an indictment when he's reaching out publicly to Ben. Oh, he's the guy. He's the only guy in our locker room who played in the last Super Bowl. And Ben obviously played in 3 Super Bowls, and he won 2 Super Bowls. And you can say the first one, he was a game manager and just
He
went along
was.
for the ride,
Because
right?
he played terrible.
Well, he did play terrible. But he has proven to be, he does somewhat lead by example during games because he's a playmaker.
Right.
You got to give him that. But that's all he can be is by
But
example.
Skip, leading by example doesn't say when you throw an interception, well,
No.
who expected the defensive tackle to be there? That's not what you say.
No.
And you don't say, well, AB, without watching, well, AB ran that route too flat. And James Washington, he got to make those plays because if they make, you don't, that's not what a leader does.
Unfortunately, he plays the leadership position. And unfortunately, I'm going to say it again about Antonio, he plays a dependent position.
Right.
So even if he's a natural-born leader, it's hard for him to be. I told you, the one receiver I thought was one of the all-time great leaders was our man, Michael Irvin. He was the leader of those 90s Cowboys.
Right.
How many times have you seen the receiver, the wide receiver, be a leader of the football team? Jerry Rice was not a leader of the 49ers.
Look, when I played, we didn't have the captaincy.
Yep.
I was never the captain. But ask Wade Phillips, my former coach, ask Brian Billick, my former coach at Baltimore, and ask Mike Shanahan, when they needed something, who did they come ask?
Okay.
84.
All right. Fine.
Ask the guys
I
in the
got
locker
it.
room.
I got it.
Born with that.
But
I got it. I'm with you on that. I buy that.
You just
And then you had the reverse in Baltimore.
Right.
When you went to Baltimore, Ray was the leader
Right.
as the middle linebacker, right? Okay, and you.
the old
No.
big chair Shane,
Okay,
old big chair
fine.
Sharpe.
Well, that's fine. I got that.
But you-
that's a very different
Yeah.
dynamic than usual.
Yes.
Because most of the great quarterbacks were pretty to very good leaders.
And
most.
basically, guess what, Skip? In Baltimore, it's always been a defensive guy.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's
Thinking back.
Suggs now. Look at it. Lamar. They don't flow. Joe Flacco not a leader.
Nope, never was.
Oh.
I think Lamar's got a chance to turn
Yes.
into that at
Okay.
some point.
Because all those heavyweights are starting to,
Yeah.
you're going to see what Mosley's going to be. But you have Ed Reed and you have Ray Lewis and you have Suggs.
Yeah.
That's 20 years of Hall of Fame level play. You get that. But Ben doesn't. Kevin Colbert, I don't care how much you pay Ben. I don't care how much you say. Oh, he's the leader. He's the unquestioned leader. And he kid. First of all, I pulled Kevin Colbert to the side like, bro, I ain't no kid.
Yep.
And I'm definitely
No,
not his kid.
I got it. He was talking in football terms. They're all kids compared to what he's accomplished. That's what he's saying.
And that's the mistake that you
Yeah.
can make.
Yeah.
Because of an accomplishment, you become a leader because of what you accomplished. Them guys don't care, Skip.
No.
Because here's the thing. When I'm in the locker room, yes, John had more clout than me, but he was still the player. He a player just like I am. He won a 46. He ain't no general manager. I'm gonna treat him like a player.
Sure.
Not like they want him. They want the players, the other 51, to treat Ben like he's more than. He's not. And you don't want that separation, Skip. You all want all the guys to feel like we're on the same level. We're playing for the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah, we have more clout. Yeah, I get it. But for me to think that Ben is more than me, not as a player, Skip, but as
I got it. What happened the moment Baker Mayfield set foot in Cleveland, Ohio? What happened? He started taking over that football team because he's natural born, right?
Yes.
And by the end of the year, there's no doubt. They love him. They'll fight for him. They'll, quote, unquote, die for him on the football field.
Can't deny it.
For the most part, Skip, when you go join the military, they don't appoint somebody. They let it play out. They see, okay, look who they following. Look who they gravitating towards. Okay, those are the guys that move up the ranks rather quickly.
What does Mel Kiper say that he values most watching the combine? On quarterback day, he wants to see who the alpha is.
Right.
Because they're in a big group, there might be 20 of them. Who starts to take over? Deshaun Watson, his day, he just started taking over the group.
And the receivers, the way they command the huddle, Skip, and which receivers get around them.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want? How do you want me to run this route?
Okay.
They're asking you, what do you want from them?
Oh, I like that. We got a lot to look forward to. Boy, and the Steelers, they would like some positive news this offseason. Feels like lately it's just been
The Patriots are not going away.
pretty negative. We're going back to the $1 million question. A popular question around here.
Yep.
Will the Lakers make the playoffs?
I want to know, Mr. Sharpe.
I want to know, too. They're going to answer that question next.
No mercy.
Is tonight, though, a must-win for the Lakers in Memphis? Yes, I said must-win. LA lost over the weekend to drop them 1 game under 500 and 3 games back of the eighth seed. The Lakers are also running out of time with only 23 games left. So, Shannon, what % chance do you give the Lakers to make the playoffs today?
51.
51.
You know why? Because we got something nobody else got. That's struggling to trying to make the playoffs, Skip Bayless.
For once, I agree with you. You do.
We got old LeBron James, old GOAT James, and with GOAT, anything possible. You know that, I know that. The funny thing is, Skip, the Rockets are in 5th place. The Lakers are in 10th. But 5 through 10 is separated by 5 games. A good hot winning streak, 4-0, we're in the A slot. That's why by week's end. Week's end, we're in the playoffs.
By week's end.
What part about week and end didn't you get?
Felt like W-E-A-K? Is that where we're headed? Or?
No.
Yeah, okay.
By the weekend.
Oh, okay.
And I ain't talking about the singer.
It could be a week into this season,
we're
right?
We're going to be in the playoff. Because, look, like I said, a good winning streak will cure all this. But they got to start winning. They got to beat Memphis. If you don't beat Memphis tonight, Skip, cancel. You got to, go ahead and cancel the season. I'm going to be so upset.
Done?
Yep.
This is it.
Yep. I ain't coming in tomorrow if we lose.
No, please do come back.
Cause, Skip, I can't take this. It does something to me. I don't sleep well. I didn't sleep a wink Friday night. I deserve better than this, LeBron. Now, I'm counting on you to get these young guys ready to play, and I expect by the end of the week we're 4-0 and we're in the 8th slot at the worst.
I am with you on one takeaway.
What?
It's impossible for me to believe that LeBron James will miss the playoffs. He's just too good. Even though I don't think he's the best player, I think Kevin Durant is, he's still all-time great, and it's just hard to believe he can't make the 8th slot in the Western Conference, albeit in the Western Conference. After he got to 8 straight finals in the East, you can't just make the 8th slot. I know they've had their injuries and this and that and the other, but still, the Memphis Grizzlies.
I know a guy that make the playoff his last 2 years. You know that guy, Skip?
That was after taking 3 years off, and he was age 38 and 39.
I don't know what he took.
By that point in his life, he was 6-0 in the finals with 6 MVPs. Case closed. Next subject. Back to this. We are talking about the pitiful, pathetic Memphis Grizzlies. That's the subject at hand in the middle of the table right now, is a Memphis team that has lost 4 straight games, 5 out of 6. Since the break, they lost to the Clippers at home, and then they went to Cleveland and lost 112-107. Kevin Love is back finally for the Cavaliers.
32-12. He had a month.
And he had a nice game. He did. But tonight, the Lakers are favored by 4.5. And tonight, as Jenny just read, this is starting to it smacks of better win. Maybe not must win, but better win. Because if you blow this one on the road at Memphis to this team that unloaded at the trade deadline, you can't do. You got to win this game.
Oh, we got it.
Huh?
Yeah.
And
I remember last time they played in L.A., Jaren Jackson had a monster game. He just went off.
Okay.
So I don't expect that to happen. I expect LeBron to lead this team. They jump out on them early, make them know that, look, you're not going anywhere. You guys are tanking. Try to hope and pray you get Zion Williamson, and leave us alone because we finna put foots in you tonight.
Okay, and then after that, if they can take care of business tonight as a 4.5-point favorite, they come home for New Orleans.
Got 'em.
Surely they can beat New Orleans
And
at
we're
home.
going to put foots in Milwaukee.
Okay, in Milwaukee, I don't know if you can put foots in them because that freak guy might just put a couple of feet in you.
No. We the freak.
Oh.
We the freak.
We the freak.
6'9" from Akron. We the freak. He ain't no freak.
I don't know.
People
He's
just call him
pretty
the Greek
freaky.
freak because they can't pronounce his last name. Ain't nothing freakish about it.
You
LeBron
realize
James.
That team has the best.
I don't care what they got.
You realize that team is playing offense as explosively
Say
as
it again.
playing
They got the
defense.
best what?
Record.
Okay, guess what? The Los Angeles Lakers got the best player.
Boy, Milwaukee is really.
They're really good.
They're
Chris
deep.
Middleton's unbelievable. Yeah, they're good, deep. All that might be true. But they ain't got LeBron.
Then your Lakers go to Phoenix.
Got 'em.
Then they come home for Clippers, Denver, Boston. I don't know.
I
It doesn't
know.
get any easier.
Good, we don't want it easy.
It's why the ESPN Basketball Power Index now says the Clippers have an 82% chance of making the playoffs. Sacramento has 17% chance, and the Lakers have a 6% chance, and the projected finish is 39-43, 4 games under 500. That would be disgraceful for the King.
Are they trying to say
Right?
we're about to go 11-12?
I
Is that
guess
what they're
so.
trying to say?
I think that's what
Is
they're
that what they're
saying.
trying to say?
Yeah.
I wish we might go. We're not going to do that.
You don't think so?
No, we're not. I
After
know
what I
so.
saw Saturday night in New Orleans, that looked like an 11-12 finish team.
That don't look like that to me.
Yeah.
Nope.
Is,
Sure doesn't.
Is LeBron going to activate out of the box tonight? Will we get to see activated LeBron?
Oh.
Well, we could activate, we don't have another twin. With him and Kyrie together, one of the twins activate. But he can't activate with nobody. Nope.
Sacramento, they kind of stole the game, but they won the game Saturday night at Oklahoma City. It was highly impressive. Buddy Hield was unconscious.
He should be unconscious after he gagged against Golden
I
State.
know.
We
Although
had,
they
hold on.
took Golden State to the wire again.
The Lakers had
That's
the
3
Lakers-
losses
the
to
Lakers-
Golden State by a grand total of 12 points for
The
Sacramento.
Lakers had Sacramento until Bogdanovich hit that 3 at the buzzer.
He is
buzzer.
pretty good.
And I told them, don't let the man get the 3 off. Foul it. They won't listen to me.
You
But
realize they added Harrison Barnes to a collection of stud young players.
Really, Skip?
Huh? Marvin Bagley has been playing big.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know if they can catch Sacramento.
Oh, you won't listen to De'Aaron Fox
Yeah.
kicking.
The Clippers have no business making the playoffs because I know what their owner said. We're going to
tell.
make the playoffs, but it
they're not.
costs them their first-round pick if they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't think they want to do that.
They're not going to make it. We got
Yeah.
them.
You got them?
And it's not going to be because they tanking. It's going to be because we chase them down.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to chase down San Antonio, which leaves
might.
you in the 8th spot.
We'll see.
8.
We'll see.
Which leaves you with Golden State,
check-
probably.
I'll
Maybe
check-
Denver,
I'll
but probably.
I'll check back with you with 10 games to go.
Really?
When we right there on your heels.
Really?
And I get me a case of
Well, you
Dubai.
can put it on the table right now.
No, I gotta
I
see-
am
I gotta
open
do it
for
right now.
business.
I gotta see
I
the
am
health.
open.
I gotta have to see the health of my ball club.
Oh, now you're going injury-wise? Okay.
Lakers will not catch Spurs.
Catch 'em.
Will not catch them.
All right, let's see. LeBron
sorry.
wants everyone to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yep.
You got to start somewhere.
Yep.
They got to start with a win tonight. And how about what we're hearing from Kyrie? Is
That
he
makes me
crazy
uncomfortable.
thinking that no one will beat the Celtics? We'll discuss that next.
No mercy.
The Celtics lost this weekend to the lowly Bulls, but Kyrie still had 37 points and was very confident after the game. He said, quote, "We'll be fine in the playoffs. I still don't see anybody beating us in 7 games." When asked why he is so confident, this is what he said: "Because I'm here." So, Skip, what do you make of this?
Mr. Sharpe, it is now time for me to be harshly objective
Okay.
about a player I love. I disagree with Kyrie.
Oh.
Kyrie's team has just lost 2 straight and 4 of 6 to fall into the 5 slot, which means they don't even have home court advantage right now and would, at their current state right now, face the 76ers in the first round without home court, and I don't think they could beat the 76ers. Now we're back to talking about leadership. Now we're back to leaders are born, they're not appointed. Kyrie has unsuccessfully attempted to appoint himself the leader of the Boston Celtics, and they are not buying because he's not natural born. He is a solo act. He's a spectacular solo act, and I'm still going to say he is the best closer in basketball. And I actually tweeted this at that moment, but the other night they played Milwaukee in the first game out of the break at Milwaukee. Kyrie got fouled, body fouled by Eric Bledsoe on the last play of that game, and it should have been called, and Kyrie would have gone to the free throw line. And Shannon Sharpe, you know exactly what he would have done at the free throw line as opposed to the guy he used to play with in Cleveland.
Not about him.
Okay, I'm just bringing up this point. Kyrie would go up there cold-blooded and make both those free throws.
Why didn't he make that one?
He
throw the basket.
Okay, but he should have been called, and the 2-minute report said it should. The refs missed it. They missed like 5 things in the last 2 minutes, but they missed that one. Bottom line, his new team is rejecting him, and he said to Rachel Nichols over the All-Star break, "It's been a trying year for us because we have a bunch of young men in our locker room that feel like they're capable of doing a lot more than what they're doing," meaning they want to play more minutes, they want to take more shots, right, especially like Rozier. And Kyrie goes on to say they have to all grow up. They're growing up right before your very eyes. This is a troubled basketball team without a leader. It has a whole bunch of really good players, but there are too many good players, and they can't find that rotation. So I don't love the chances of this basketball team going forward. Thank you very much.
I'm glad Kyrie is very confident, but right now they're the 4th best team in the East. They're not better than Milwaukee. They're not better than Philly. They're not better than Toronto. So you want someone, Indiana, do I think they can beat Indiana series? Absolutely. But Skip, by any metric, they're the 4th best team currently in the East.
I agree.
Record aside.
Well,
they're not. And the Celtics haven't figured it out, Skip, because they played so well last year without Kyrie down the stretch and into the playoffs. They had Game 7 on their home court. It was a chance to go to the NBA Finals without Kyrie, without Gordon Hayward.
I know.
How does Brad Stevens, because Skip, if you think about Brad Stevens, what makes him so great is that he's able to coach without having a superstar. The ball moves. At Butler, they wasn't getting no Zion Williamsons. They wasn't getting no Kyrie. They wasn't getting no Vince Carter. They were getting guys, and the way you win is that you have to move the ball. They didn't have guys, Gordon Hayward, probably the best player that's ever come out of Butler.
But you know what? I'm going to say it again. He's making a ton of money, and he's overrated for that money. He's not that good. And to your point, at Butler, he was their best player, but he wasn't a superstar,
no,
right?
he wasn't. No, he
wasn't.
Okay,
and now he's just another cog in the machine here, right?
And the question is, how do they, like Kyrie said it, okay, these guys think they can do more because they saw what they did when you weren't there. And they say, why should we have to take a back seat now that you are here? We almost went to the game. We went to Game 7, had it on our court. You weren't here, Kyrie.
They did.
So now, because you, and Kyrie is all-time great. Nobody has handles like he has.
Nobody.
Like he has. He can score the bucket, mid-range, can shoot the 3, can get to the rim.
And you want to talk about clutch gene. He's got big clutch gene.
But at the end of the day, Skip, these guys are trying to make a name for themselves. And when you're trying to make a name for yourself, once you start going this way, you don't want to put it in reverse and have to take a step back and concede playing time and concede shot to Kyrie. They're like, nah, bro. And you're talking crazy anyway, talking about, well, they don't know what it takes. See, that's why he called Bron. He had to call LeBron.
Yeah, but it was a stunt.
He
was actually pointing fingers at his younger teammates saying, look, I'm going to apologize to LeBron because I should have grown up with LeBron, and now I want you guys to grow up for me.
Shoulda.
Yeah, listen to me.
Shouldn't. It's hard. It ain't easy.
Yeah.
People think leading is easy.
But
them the ones that they shoot at first.
Well.
They don't shoot at the guy from behind. Ain't nobody aiming no bullets. Like, you know what I'm saying, curve the bullet behind. Nah, it's the leader. Kyrie, now you see firsthand that LeBron shielded you.
Oh.
Yeah. Skip, you saw the movie Death Race? I watched it last night on Netflix.
Death Race?
Death Race, yeah.
Why were you watching that?
I watched it. And that big,
That's like from how many years ago?
It was a long time ago. Yeah. But he had that Jason Statham. Frankenstein.
Yeah. Okay. I watched one of his movies the other night. I watched Killer Elite.
Yeah. And he had that big old plate on the back called it Tombstone.
Yeah.
And they just they tried to shoot it.
Yeah.
That's what LeBron had in front of Kyrie, blocking all that.
Blocking it.
Skip Bayless was taking all them shots at on LeBron. Now you get a chance to see.
I know, but LeBron had a deal with Kyrie. I'll shield you if you'll close for me.
Oh, man. See,
yeah, that was the deal.
Oh, Skip, don't do that.
Shield, close. I'll take the
What
close.
about that block? Are we going to disregard the block?
What
the
block?
greatest block in NBA history.
The bicycle built for two?
Don't do this, Skip. Don't do this, Skip.
You don't have time to get all into it. But the confidence, though, he is not short on it. I need your opinion on this. Why did Ja Rule put a curse on my Timberwolves?
We're going to talk about Ja Rule?
This isn't good. We'll explain that.
Come on, Ja.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. It was not a good weekend, well, really a couple years for Ja Rule. He performed at halftime during the Wolves-Bucks game, and reportedly nobody cheered. Giannis even came on the court to shoot before the performance was done, and afterwards, Ja Rule got crushed on social media. The Wolves tweeted this: "We too were hustled, scammed, bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray." Ja Rule responded with this: "You just jinxed yourself. Talking to the God this way. You're cursed now. You won't win a championship for the next 30 years. And Cat is leaving. Apologize, and I will lift the curse. Kiss of death." This is harsh. Shannon, are you buying the Ja Rule curse?
Skip, this might be worse than Fire Festival.
It's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
He put a curse on a team.
It's not right.
That's gone past the first round once in its existence, and that was the Western Conference Finals in 2004.
Yep.
Now, he didn't put a curse on Boston or L.A. or Golden State. The Timberwolves.
Yeah, what's wrong with
You know what? I thought it for a second there, because I happened to be flipping the channels, and I was like, okay, is everybody ready? Normally, when you say everybody ready, you in a 15,000 suit. Yeah! Nobody said a word.
Nope.
For a second there, I thought 50 Cent, because 50 one time bought up all the front row seats so it'd be empty. So I was like, 50 playing a joke on him. Skip, just chalk this one up. You took the L on this one, bro. Ja, I'm sorry.
What is Ja Rule doing in Milwaukee on a Saturday night for 90s night? His debut came out in 99, but he's not really a big 90s rapper because all the best 90s rappers are either not with us anymore or they're not going to Milwaukee on a Saturday night.
And he wasn't one of them.
Right? And he wasn't one of them. So this is the most irrelevant curse to a pretty irrelevant franchise.
Really
like, what are you doing?
Hey.
It's just, he got stung, he got hurt by this.
Can you imagine Giannis coming out there shooting when the Migos or J. Cole or Drake?
I can
better
imagine
not be a real
coming out
curse.
listening.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.